care who it is. This is a brotherhood. And if we stand strong together, we can't be denied. If one of us goes down, we have another, and another, and another that's ready to fight. So let's hit this field and bang them, bang them, bang them. Somebody, light me up.
It's time to huddle up. It's the Turf District Podcast. Welcome back to the Turf District, where we huddle up to talk all things Edmonton Elks and the CFL. And we are a proud member of the Canadian Football Podcast Network. Thank you for joining us or downloading or joining us whichever way you're joining us live. Maybe you're listening to us on Edmonton Sports Talk Radio. Thank you for doing that. Of course, if you are on live, make sure that you throw some comments on all the different spots, and we'll be able to answer them as we go along. We have a guest, so you can ask some questions there. And of course, we'll get into overtime after the show and get into more of your questions. Sorry, we've been away for a little bit of varying things for all three of us, but for the first time in a while, we have the whole gang is here. Let's bring them in, starting with Super Fan Mike. There he is.
One for old time's sake.
Wow. I was going to say, we haven't seen the Jantlers in a while.
It's been amazing. A while.
Yeah. I feel honored.
I know. Like I said, got to bring him back. You know, it's 75th season, so we're going to have a lot of throwbacks to past things. And, you know, I can be one of them.
I'm slowly trying to work on what would a throwback Turf District pod shirt look like. I think so. Do we blend and maybe in the background have the old Empire logo?
Maybe
Since 2015.
Put in the comments, people.
That's right. And since episode 100, your favorite other co-host, there she is, Commissioner Kayla. How are you?
I don't know if you want a throwback of me. I've grown up a lot.
Well, at least one of us should.
Yeah.
We love you the way you are. Come on now. Come on, Kayla.
Certain throwbacks we will not do, and I think we all know which ones those are, so pipe down, Cliffy.
Yes, we'll pipe down on those. Superfan, did you get the ability to add the comments back in now? You should, because you are back on stage. Yes? No?
Let's see. I'm not entirely sure. It says that I might be able to. I guess we'll see.
All right, we'll see how this goes. All right, well, why make it easy? That's right. Well, I am glad we are together once again, but we also have an amazing guest to join us this evening. One of the defensive backs on the Elks. Now, last year we weren't sure because for a short bit he was retired, but then came back, lit up the side. Your cornerback number 5, Donovan Olumba. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, what's up? What's up, y'all? Thank you for having me.
Oh, we're so glad you're here. Donovan, I was telling you this beforehand that I was excited to have you on when we saw you at the combine and how excited you got and just this positive energy. And when you came back on the field last year, it was just the sideline was energized with everything that you were doing. And I'm very excited to talk to you. But before we get into all of that fun stuff, how's the off season? How are things going for you?
It's been good. Being able to stay out here in Edmonton, build relationships with people, being able to work out with my teammates. It's all been great. Obviously, this is my first Edmonton winter, like staying here from the season, and it's something different, you know, being from Arizona in America, but I've done nothing but enjoy it all. Even with the negative 30s outside, it's all been a great experience. So I'm forever grateful for living out here in just Edmonton as a city.
Well, you know, when you say negative 30s, I'm not sure if you're talking about the weather or the people, but I'm hoping that it's the weather. We'll see, because you're bringing everybody up.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the weather. I mean, I'm being energized on the sideline. I mean, that's how what's funny is like my mom has always been that way. She's played volleyball, so just like her playing volleyball and softball, and they do their little chants on the side and everything. I've always been brought up to where like, oh, if you're on the sideline, you can't impact the game. You can't impact your teammates in a positive way. So when I'm not playing, like whenever that's the case, I try to do my best of helping the team any way I can. If that's helping on the side, if that's trash talking the opponent for a little bit so that they could drop a ball, anything for the team.
Okay, I feel like I need to ask, are there any go-to trash talk quotes we can hear?
I don't think you can hear it because like I know I'm a nice guy right now and everything, but when I go on the field, it all changes. So to keep it nice and family, I gotta keep those to myself.
Fair.
You scallywags.
Yeah, you know that.
So we talked about doing some throwbacks. So let's throw back to you and your start with football. So who introduced you to football and when did you start playing?
Yeah, so I think like when I was like 3 or 4, my mom she had me when she was in college. So she was on the volleyball team, and just off of that, I would shag a lot of balls when they would spike a lot. So that's like got me into like sports and stuff like that. And then obviously playing, I never played, but I would watch like the NFL and stuff. And then I remember in the first grade, we were learning about continents, Africa, Asia, Europe. And this is like before we learned anything. And my teacher, Mrs. Young, she told everybody to like draw the map, like, what do you think's on it? And I just started drawing like college football and NFL teams. Like I didn't know, like, before anything. And so off of that, we like learned everything after. And then when I got to like the second grade, my mom, she was getting her car. She's got getting her car fixed or oil change or whatever. And I was running, and there were some men out there, and they ran a Pop Warner team, which is like the little
right.
The Pop Warner's like the little like child team like in the States and stuff.
Right.
And I didn't join that team. I was like in the second, third grade. My mom, she was like, yeah, I don't want you getting injured, all of these things. And then when I got to like 4th or 5th grade, I kept on asking her, pushing her. And then one of my friends, his Pop Warner team, like he's been playing on it for 3 years. And then my mom and his mom were like pretty close, and she was telling him about the team. And then that's when I started playing. The team is named the Tucson Falcons, and I started that in the 5th grade. I played, the first position I played was on the D line. I played defensive end, which is, funny now. Yeah. So,
you don't know. You're playing for Chris Jones. You might be on the D line next week. You
like this position. That is the thing. So I always gotta, So I was D line at first, and then 6th grade, my team, we were pretty good. We actually won our city championship, and then we're able to raise enough money to go fly to Florida, and we played 3 games in Florida, and that's that was a great experience, being able to play team. Like we played one team from Connecticut, and we thought we were gonna beat them, and they beat us 30-0. And then we played another team from Florida, and then we beat them 25-0. And then we played this one city. Not one city. We played this one team from Chicago. Their team name was the Windy City Chargers. And instead of like the blue and everything, they had red, but with the same Chargers logo and all the stuff. And I remember we played them. It was like 7 a.m. It was so cold and everything, and we lost to them 14-7. We're all crying and stuff, But we ended up as like the 4th best team in the nation, and it was all a good experience. And then 7th grade, I kept on playing with the same team. 7th and 8th grade, still a whole bunch of my friends. I played with the team, and then I got to high school. When I got to high school, I was kind of one of the when I started high school, I was 5 foot, like 103 pounds. So
wow.
Yeah, right. So I came in, I was kind of like, I wasn't physically developed yet or anything. So I played receiver and stuff back then. That was freshman and like sophomore year. And then going into my junior year, I tried out for the varsity team. But I grew up, I mean, I was around like 5'7", like 130 around there. And I tried for the varsity team my junior year and I didn't make it. And I remember I was like crying and stuff. He put the list outside of his office and I was crying and stuff. But then one of my coaches, he had my mom would do his dreads and stuff because he was like very connected with like another one of my mom's friends. And so he started getting to start putting the idea in my mom's head. He was like, "Oh, just he's gonna play corner. He's gonna play corner. Like, don't worry about it. Like, he's gonna play on JV. He's gonna switch positions. Like, everything's gonna be good." And so he just started putting that in our head. And so that's when I switched positions. I was playing like corner and DB, and he actually, Coach Neal, he played in the CFL for a season. He played for the Argos back in like I think 98, 99. He was cool with He's cool with Orlando at Hamilton.
Oh, cool.
Right. Yeah. So when I first got up here in 2021, he was like telling me like, "Oh, get ready for the game," like, just everything. And like, so I was playing. That was like my junior year, and then senior year I made it to varsity. I wasn't really getting a lot of like play time. It was some like off the field stuff I kind of got in trouble with like in the classroom and stuff. So that kind of like put me in a doghouse during the summers and stuff like that. But being able, my high school, we were able to travel to Notre Dame for like passing league, which is like 7-on-7 and stuff. And that was a really good experience, like being able to play teams like all throughout the Midwest coming from Arizona. And like that was a great experience. But what's funny is like we had an A team and B team for that. And all the seniors and stuff was on the A team. And they put me on the B team. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, right, I was a senior. I was like a senior on the B team. I'm like, what is this? But like me, I just thought about like, oh, like I could be able to get more reps so I could get better. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always, you got to think like larger picture and stuff. And so I did pretty well in that. And then going into my senior season, I was like a backup or anything. I didn't really get a lot of reps during the summers and stuff. And then we played a team in California called Crespi, and they smoked us. Like it was like we thought we were like really good going into the year. And we like my program at my high school, we've been really good for a while. Like we've probably been the best program in Tucson, Arizona. Like we're competing against like Hamilton, Chandler, like the best teams in Arizona every year. So what was it? So I went I'm trying to remember. So my senior season, like so I didn't really play that much, but then, guys started getting injured and I played a little bit. And so after the season came, I'm kind of thinking like, football is kind of in my heart still, you know what I'm saying? But like, I didn't really play a lot like my senior year. So I'm like, should I really like still should I still pursue this? Like, it's still in my heart, but I'm like, I don't know. Like I've dealt with a lot in this game. And so my senior year, like that January, February, going all up until May, I was emailing a whole bunch of schools, like sending them my huddle tape and everything. I messaged about at least 100 or 200 schools, and only like, right. And only like 2 or 3 got back to me. One was named Southwestern College in Kansas. I just remember their logos was like the Jinx, and it was like a black cat and everything. And then, like it's funny. And then another school that messaged me was Alderson Broadus. They're located in Philippi, West Virginia, and they're Division II NCAA, and the other school is NIA. So I was like, you know what? Let me try the Division II school. So my mom and I, we drove out there. That was like in 2013, right? I played there for 3 years, but still in my heart, like I wanted to play professional. So I was like, you know what? I feel as if I have to challenge myself against like the better competition, like the best competition. So to be able to play like professionally, right? And so I transferred to Portland State and Portland, Oregon, and going from like West Virginia to Portland, like it was a small town in West Virginia to Portland. It's crazy. Like it's probably like going from like small town Alberta to like BC, you know what I'm saying? Like Vancouver, something like that. Like it's something like from going from like my first school, you didn't have to pay for laundry. Like they have free laundry. Then I go to Portland, you need a laundry card and all this stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, and I'm a walk on and stuff. I'm like, this is just like the most. And so I'm staying with my friends or whatever. I stayed with them for 6 months during my season. Like honestly, not even 6 months, for the whole from February until the end of the senior season. I stayed with them. I did pretty well. We played BYU and Oregon State. They're pretty big schools, and that's when like NFL teams started coming. And then after that, every team started coming after practice and stuff. And I was like, okay, like this might be something good, but I'm like, you're not really in it yet. And so after that, I was like 20. My last year was 2017. Then 2018, I started training and stuff. And then that's when April came. Day 3 of the draft, my agent contacted me at 6 a.m. saying that the Cowboys want to sign a free agent contract with you. And I'm like, shoot. And I'm like, okay. I mean, hey, that's a blessing, you know what I'm saying? Like, who am I to be like, no? And so I did that. I signed them, and then God willing, they gave me, so in the draft, they gave you like, $1 million signing bonuses if you're drafted, all the other stuff. My signing bonus was only $2,000. Like, like what's so funny is like, so when you're on the team, like, you're a rookie, so you have to do like, introduce yourself, say your bonus, sing a song, dance in front of the team, right? And so like my like rookie year, like I would say like, Donovan Olumba, Portland State, $2,000. And like I would rap, turn everybody up, like all my teammates were like, Donna, go back up, Donna, go back up. And like I would have to say like my signing bonus every day, but like all my teammates, they was like, they were excited and stuff. So like, that I made the team for 2 years. It was exciting. I wasn't able to play, but being on the practice squad, I was able, on the sideline, use my energy, help my teammates, tell them, I see him lining up like this, just watch out for this, being able to be there, eyes on the side. And then after I was on there for 2 years, I learned that. And then that's when I started getting released. Like I was on, like that's when I was with Browns for a training camp. They released me, but then they brought me back to the end of the year. And then after that, I wasn't really feeling it. If I was like, you know what? Like, I actually want to play. Like, I want to play football. So I told my agent at the time, I was like, I want to play like in the CFL. Like, this is like 2021. Like right after, he's like, okay, like I got you and everything. And I think Toronto had my rights or something. Like how they do all the rights things. And so he had my rights traded over to Hamilton, and then I was on Hamilton for training camp with Coach Washington on Orlando, and then they released me. And released, and then went back. What's crazy is like right after they released me, the Rams signed me like a week after, and then I was there for training camp, and then they released me, and then I was on Winnipeg, and then they released me, and I went back, and they released me again. Then I've been here, and I've been here ever since. So that's what I'm saying. So I've been. It's a blessing, I've been cut so many times. So to be able to find a home in this football thing, I'm just forever grateful. And just for Edmonton and Coach Jones and G-Bra and the whole like staff to be able to want to have me here. It's just great. I'm just grateful just to be able for a team to want me. Like after you've been cut so many times, it's like, bro, like you just want to play football. You just want to be a part of a city, be a part of a fan base, and and win. Like obviously you want to be a part of something, but I want to win as well. Like we're not here just to push daisies and just to eat lollipops. We're here to win football. So
that's what we're here for.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The other ones eat lollipops and push daisies on the side and gas up. So,
I was gonna say we can still have lollipops in the stands though, right? Like that's okay. While you're playing. Okay, good. Okay, just check.
Right. So that's why I've chosen to stay out here. I mean, obviously, being an American, I could go back to the States and everything and all the time. But I'm like, whenever I'm with a team or an organization, I want to be able to stay in the city and to give back as much as I can. I want to be able to say like, I gave 100% of myself to the situation. I mean, obviously in football, it's never gonna be forever. I mean, your career is always gonna be, so for the time being and for the time that I'm here, I wanna Donovan, he gave 100% of what he is, and God willing, I'm able to my name could be on the wall of honor. So
heck yeah.
Wow, I love it. I love it.
I mean, I want to be here. I'm not here just I bounced around teams already, so you already know.
Yeah. I kind of want to go back to Portland and when there are scouts and stuff, I assume you're told in advance, correct? Yeah. So what is that like playing in front of scout? Like, do you feel extra motivated, extra nervous? Like, what's going through your mind when you know that there's scouts, especially like one sitting from the NFL, the CFL in the stands? Like for me, I'd be sweating balls and dropping balls.
Oh no, hey, you're not lying. Like at first, like, cause at my first school, the West Virginia school, the Browns, like a scout came, but they were like, yeah, he's transferring and stuff like that. But at first, like, it is nerve-wracking because it's like, what, like, I'm good enough to be able to like for teams because like you understand like scouting for professional teams, they literally pay guys to fly out and to watch you and do stuff like that. So it's just like, wow, like teams are actually taking, they're actually whatever. So at first it's just like, like you're nervous, but then like after probably once or twice, it's like, nah, like I want to be able to say like I was able to play in the NFL, like you know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of times like because you could have all the scouts in front of you, but then if you don't do your thing, if you don't what is it? If you're not what's the word? Like if you're not productive and doing if you're not doing your job, if you're not doing these things, you're not going to be able to play in the NFL or CFL or anything or any professional league. So then it's like you're going to be like, like I wish I could have. I mean, I understand like the first time, okay, you're nervous, but then after that, nah, you gotta get over that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're trying to push higher and higher, it's just like with anything, like with the play. Like if you're trying to go from like small town to Broadway Street, and you know what I'm saying? I mean Broadway. What? I said Broad Street. But so if you're trying to go from small town to Broadway, you're gonna have to. You might get nervous at first, but shoot, once you're in front of everybody, it's like you and your mom is just right there. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
It's the mental game just as much as the physical game, for sure.
Also, sweating bullets and dropping balls is the title of the podcast, just so you know, Caleb.
Oh yeah, exactly. And then I like what you said, like it could
like a junior high dance.
That's what it said. But it's definitely a mental game. Like my first year in the NFL, my coach Chris Richard, he was with like Sherman, Earl Thomas in Seattle. He told me he was like, when you get across from anybody, the name on the jersey, the number doesn't matter. Like just always play your technique. I mean, you're human just like them. You run just like them. You breathe just like them. You can't really psych yourself too much because that's when you start messing up. So
for sure. Absolutely.
That's so true. Yeah. Now, when you go though from college to professional ball, whether that's the CFL, the NFL, did you have like a wow moment where you're like, I can't believe I'm here? Did you have one of those moments?
Yeah, like honest, like I will say every team and every like stadium I go to is just like wow, because like coming from a D2 school, like I mean, obviously my high school we had a little bit of success, but coming from like a D2 school and like I always keep that mind frame of like nobody wants you. I had to email a whole bunch of like teams to even get here. So like to even start like any team I've gone on, like when I was in the NFL, even shoot here when we go game to game and when we played in Winnipeg last year and you see how the crowd at IG Field is or anywhere, it's just like wow, like people are really like 40, 50, 60,000 people are really watching me just to be able just to play something I've been playing my whole life. And I mean like people will talk trash about it after like we beat Sask or Calgary or whatever, people talk trash. So it's just like being able to like have a direct correlation on like if people are talking trash either on like one, you know, on the next day, that's what's so good. Like, 'cause, like, yeah, in fact, like I remember after we beat Calgary, I got on the LRT and then like just seeing like all the Calgary fans just all dejected. It was just funny. It just felt good. It's just, you know,
sometimes that's a good thing. Yep,
that's
true. You're right. I did that. That's right.
Yeah, just to see, honestly, like when you like when we won off the final kick, and then like just seeing Coach Dickinson, you know, just take off your headphones, just run and just shake your hand, just walk away. It's just fun. It's just seeing like the sick look on like coaches' faces. I mean, look, it's just funny. Like it's just so funny to me because I seen a video where like a guy he shows a video of like he's like how coaches are when they lose, and he's like watching like the field goal. He just takes off the headset, drops, and he just walks away, just shakes hands, just walks away. I'm just like just seeing that face of this sickness is just funny.
I hope you see it a lot this year.
Of course, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I wanna for sure hurt hearts this year for sure.
I feel like you're so positive, Donovan. They'd lose, you'd see that, and you'd just go over and be like, "Hey, do you want a hug?" Like
sometimes
no. Yeah. Oh, just checking.
That's when people be feeling antagonized. Right after you lose, you start hugging them and stuff. They're like, "Man, get off me, get off me."
Yeah. So, when you were with the Browns, is that when you met Coach Jones?
So we like missed, like we like crossed paths. Like we didn't cross paths, but we just barely missed each other. Like
right.
I came in when Coach Stefanski and Andrew Berry came in, and he was there with Coach Kitchens and I think another guy, but you know, same owner, same everything. But what's crazy is we signed the DB. His name is Donnie Lewis, and I was with him on the Browns, and Coach Jones was with the Browns when they drafted him, and I was trained. I've trained with Donnie before in the States, like in Arizona and everything. So, I mean, it's like I'm just excited because like anybody that Coach Jones crossed paths with, like he has they like carry themselves a certain way, which I mean you respect, you know what I'm saying? So
that's did you know much about the CFL before you came up to Canada?
Yeah, honestly I did. When I was at my Division II school, Artists and Broadus, Coach Crehan, his name is Dennis Crehan. He coached at a whole bunch of CFL teams, and his son came out to my school. His son came out to my school in like 2014, 2015, like, you know, helping us during like our training camp. And he was this was like August or whatever. I don't know. I think he was helping with, I think he was on Calgary or Toronto back then, you know. So yeah, and Coach Korean coached in this year, I think he said 10, 15 years and everything. So like when I first was at my school, and, you know, we did a whole like 40s training, you know, as a freshman and stuff. He was telling me, he was like, yeah, you're good enough to like play professionally. He's like, you just keep on getting stronger and keep on getting faster. He's like, these are the numbers and everything. He's like, I have numbers for scouts for you and everything. So I've heard about the CFL for a minute, actually.
That's awesome. Coach Korean was here twice, actually. He was here in the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah.
In Edmonton.
So I'm already knowing. Like he told me about everything. He was like he because I only came to Canada once, and I was like 10 years old because my mom's family's from Detroit, so we came to Toronto for like 10, 11 days. Like he was telling me, he's like, yeah, he loved, he's like, other than it being cold, he loved Canada. He's like, everything's great, the people's great, the food's great. I mean, one thing I appreciate about in Edmonton is when I walk around my neighborhood, so I kind of live in Abbotsville, you know, I kind of get some trash for that. But when I walk around my neighborhood, people have apples, people are in gardens and stuff like that. And that's like, in the city, that's like crazy to me because, you know, being in the States, it's not like a lot of people are like farming and stuff like that in like a city. So like he told me everything, and everything that he told, I mean, he hasn't fibbed about it. He hasn't lied about anything.
That's
like,
good.
I love it here. That's why I stay out here. Like, I mean, hey, I enjoy it today.
Well, we love having you.
You're a brave man. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, since that is phenomenal, I love hearing the response that, yeah, I've heard of the CFL. Are you kidding me? That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. Like,
but come, sorry.
No, you got it. You got it. Go.
No, but like coming up here, there's got to be a few adjustments for you, whether it's like game related. You said the weather may be a little bit different, maybe. But is there any like one big, huge adjustment that you just had to make just in order to vibe a little bit more with the team or with the game or with the city?
Yeah. I would say because in the CFL compared to like the NFL, like as a corner, you kind of have to read like I mean, obviously, it's all about body language, but like reading receivers tempo. So like because you have to deal with the waggle and stuff in the CFL. And what's funny is like a lot of NFL teams are doing the same little waggle. They don't do the waggle, but like you know how the Dolphins they do that little jet motion and then the target. It's the same difference. It's the same thing. Like you get your fastest guy going and then just go. So like being able to read like the tempo, like if the receiver like like for instance, if I'm reading a quarterback, being able to in my peripherals, I could see like, is the receiver running fast, like off the waggle, or is he just like, just like doing his little hop or trotting or whatever like that. And then like with that, I could take little details like, oh, like if I read the quarterback and then I see the receiver like jogging. Right when I see like the quarterback do a little quick read, I could just jump it. You know what I'm saying? Like I could just, but like in the States, it's more of like you could read their tempo, but like it's not really as much because like they're not getting up on you. That waggle is crazy. Like I'm sorry, like because unless you have like a guy that's running like a 4-3 or whatever right there, you could kind of play over the top on him. But with that waggle, it's like you have to get your read from the quarterback, and then right after you get your read, you better not be wrong because like the guy could catch up on you. Like if I'm reading the quarterback and if you get like a bad read, like a quick read, and then this guy, the number one receiver, just running fast past you, he's gonna get past you and go and take you deep. And I mean, and that's my thing, like as a corner, because like I understand in football, like there's a lot of responsibility on me, like being a corner, like because you know how for D-line or linebackers, whatever. But like if a guy is throwing bombs over the top, people are gonna be like, bro, like what's wrong with him? Like why is he tripping? You know what I'm saying? So like I take all that, like I take that very seriously because like people lose jobs when you lose. Like, you know what I'm saying? People lose jobs, coaches aren't there. So like I understand you have to read the most, you have to read, you have to do like when during the season, I try not to leave the facility till like 4 or 5 o'clock. Like we have practices and stuff, but I'm watching film after the games, I'm treating it like that because it's a lot of emotions that people put into this stuff, and I'm not trying to have people all sad and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, I want the other team sad, not our team. But yeah.
Good job.
Fact. So, like just being able to take the waggle and just and also, I mean, obviously, reading quarterbacks is the number one thing in all of football because whatever the quarterback does with the ball, that's what he does. Like he hands it off, it's a run. If he does a quick thing, it's, you know what I'm saying? So just being able to, do that and then. Because like obviously some of the guys they might not have like the time 40 speed, but if they have that waggle, anybody could run fast 50-60 yards down the field and they have all that momentum on you, you know what I'm saying? So just really just the waggle, really,
High pace. Love our game.
Yeah, so much fun.
Oh yeah, facts. Like what's like that's why I love like the see because it's so I'm into like I'm like a route concept guy and understanding like what the offense is like to attack. So like the CFL being a passing league, it kind of reminds me of like 7-on-7 back in the day. To like where like if you understand like this is how I think about football. Like me being a player, I have a direct correlation on the game. So like how like the coaches impact the game, but they only impact the game telling the players on the side what to do. You know what I'm saying? But like they don't impact it. They're not playing it. So like me as a defender, I think how I'm thinking is I'm not playing the guy across from me. I'm playing the guy calling the plays, because like if I'm playing the guy calling the plays, it doesn't matter what this guy across from me does. If he has, you know what I'm saying? Like if the offensive play caller is calling dig route by number 1, it doesn't matter if this guy is 5'8" and fast or 6'3" or whatever. I just know at 12 to 15 yards, he's gonna make his break, and I should be right there competing for the ball. So that's how I tried. And then obviously, you got to work out and do everything else after.
Those parts are important.
Yeah, of course.
Super fan, do we have any fan questions in there that we want to pop up?
Yeah, we've got a few things in here. What do we got here? So Chris Agar, first of all, is loving your attitude. He said he loves your chill for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
So he says, in your football journey, where did you find your greatest challenge and what was it?
My greatest, I would say, honestly, I would say when I moved to Portland, because I left my one school. I had a scholarship on the table, like my mom, like for 2 or 3 years, she didn't have to pay any money or anything, so that was good. And then she was like, you know what, you should leave the scholarship, you should go to whatever, you should like go to Portland or whatever. So like when I went to Portland, I left, like I was a complete walk-on. Like I had to try out for the team, and that 2-week tryout, no, like you had to, for 2 weeks straight, 4 a.m. wake up, and Portland, it rains all the time, and it's the city of bridges. I remember it was like Wednesday and Thursday. It was from Portland State campus. I got up 4 a.m., met with I forgot her name. I met with her. She was another trainer. She worked with Coach Fabian. And it was that Wednesday and Friday, we ran. It was like Portland's the city of bridges. I at least ran 4 or 5 bridges that day. And it was like at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it was like, it rains a lot, but like it was like that misty rain. But like when you're running, it just feels like it's just all coming down at like the same time. So like Wednesday, dark as I don't know what outside, running 5-6 miles, and then just nothing but rain falling on you. Oh my God. Like I thought I was gonna quit, because like all the stuff going down, like it was probably one of the worst things ever. And then that was for like 2 weeks. And then after because like workouts, like winter workouts is always hard for football or whatever, but like that winter workout, we had this one thing. It was we did like more of what is it? It's like the HIT training, HITT trainer or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of the exercises we had was 3 sets of box jumps. There was 3 sets of 15. So you'll jump as fast as you can for 15 seconds and then 5 seconds off. But like that lactic acid, like when that last like sets of 15, oh my gosh, like guys are like bending over, throwing up on the floor. Like the lactic acid is crazy in your legs. And then like you have to hold the box next to it so the guy that's going next to the follow. Oh my gosh. That was probably the worst thing ever. Like in terms of physically, I don't know how I made it past that situation like that. Like also yeah, that was the worst. Oh my gosh. Whew. But then, like in terms of like emotional and psychological, I would say probably like when I was on the Cowboys, probably because like you're just, because I have a lot of friends that still in the league, and like I'm going against Dak, Amari. I'm going against the guys that they're paying millions of dollars for, and I'm making plays against them. Like I'm getting interceptions, I'm making these plays. So like when I'm not getting the chance, and it's like, oh, like you're like so close, it's like dang. So like emotionally, when it's like, oh, like I've always wanted to play this, and it's so close, but then like when it doesn't happen, like I felt like some type of way like during that, like emotionally. But then like after, everything happens for a reason. Everything, like I was meant to come here in Canada and have a great, great life, great situation. I mean, and then I have a lot of friends that ask me, they're in America. They ask me, they're like, why don't you play in the XFL or USFL or UFL or anything like that? And I told them, I'm like, first off, the CFL is a legit league and has been doing it for like what, decades? I mean, 100,
over 100 years. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like over 100 years. So I'm like, it's been doing this for a while. And like when I was in Hamilton, I seen the Hall of Fame. So I'm like, there's a legit Hall of Fame. So I'm like, it's not like a whole like, like we want a spring football league, which I mean, I think there should be a spring like, there should be another like a couple. Like, I think there should be another league in the States or whatever. I mean, it's good that they're coming out with it right now, but I'm like, it's not as stable as the CFL. Like, I'm like, there's legit fans in the CFL. I'm like, people have tattoo of the Elks and they love our team. That's what I'm saying. They like there's a legit fan base here. Like I remember in December 31st, I did a camp with New World Agency and Gizmo was there and we were all signing autographs like regular, teammates that's there. And, we had a couple people, signing autographs, but then Gizmo was there and his line was a reach into the door. Like it was as far back as possible. And I'm like, I'm like, there's not guys like this getting this in the UFL, XFL, anything like that. So I'm like, there's people that like love this game and, like you do good stuff for the city, people love you. So I'm like, that's the main reason. I'm like, this has been a legit league for the longest, and I mean, people love this, and there's a whole Hall of Fame. Like, what is there to what that's my own.
It's a perfect spot. It's a perfect spot.
Yeah. Gizmo, another American too, from Memphis. He's made his whole life here, and you can see the love for sure.
Facts. And he like when I talked to him, the one time, and he was telling me he's like, yeah, like the whole coming up here and everything. He's like, yeah, like he's like, you can make this a great thing and everything. So that's how I see it. I bounced around a lot, so I came here because I want to build a winning team with Coach Jones and Coach Jeeper and everything.
Find a home.
That's amazing. What's also amazing, you can understand Gizmo. That's amazing. That's pretty cool. That's he's right. He's got a different accent. He's got
left up too, right?
Yeah. It's he makes it fun. I do want to ask you, Don, have you had the chance yet to speak with Coach Klund, being that he's now DB's coach?
Yeah, we talked on the phone actually a couple of weeks ago, and I'm excited. I mean, so he came from a Division II, not like before he was on SAS before, but like like his whole thing, and we have that in common. Coming from Division II, that's not really the like in the States, they like if you really love football, you'll be at those levels because there's no money in it. Like what I'm saying. So me understanding that, I know that he loves his game, and anybody who loves his game, shoot, I mean, I'm rocking with, and we've talked technique things as well, and we've had the conversation, like we've been in football long enough, we all know like there's multiple techniques you could use to get a whole bunch of things accomplished. And I told him, I'm like, I'm a player who's willing to be coachable, willing to learn, willing to do these things. I'm like on the side during practices, during games, I'm a very like guy. So I'm like, just be like, just hype me up in the background. Like, please, like even in training camp going against, like I'm so excited for training camp just to be able to iron sharpen iron with Gino and D Mitch and Curly and McLeod and just everybody. So and Swerve. I'm just excited.
But what excites you most about playing in that Jones Shivers defense this year?
I like that. I mean, I seen that Nick Marshall, he was one of the best corners. He made a lot of plays on the ball. So I appreciate that with Coach Shivers, also with Coach Klund. One thing I appreciate with Coach Jones is that he lets me like be he just lets me be me. Like, I'm chill right now, but when I step on that field, like it's something different. So just being able just to carry the same mentality that we had towards the end of the year. We're getting better. Luchez, he's a really big leader for us on the back end. We already know Niles in the middle, Enoch, Tony. We have a lot of guys that that have the right mindset, and we're going to move in the right direction. And training camp, we're definitely gonna sharpen ourselves then.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw a lot of other guys are here. Like Niles was here, Enoch is here, and you're here. So that's really awesome to see.
Yeah. Right. And then Jake, we have a good bunch of guys. And then Niles, he does what's good about Niles, he does like training with like children and teenagers in the city. And I mean, that's a blessing, honestly. Like, he has a lot of knowledge, like just coming from the University of Notre Dame. Like, that's a crazy prestigious institution, and to be able to play football at, that's like one of the biggest brands in America for football. So to be able to have that knowledge and to be able to give it to other kids, to be able to give it to kids in Edmonton, I mean, he's really doing the Lord's work for real. Like, I'm very proud of him for that.
And he's got a stellar cheerleaders back home in Auntie Valerie, but that's just because like I'm obsessed with Auntie Valerie.
Aren't we all? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we all.
Okay, so Chris Jones lets you be you. It's the first game of the season, and the game's about to start, but you have an open mic. What are you saying to the fans to hype us up for this 75th season?
You put me on the spot right here. So
I like that you're prepping it. You're prepping it.
Yeah. So the hype of the fans, I'll say, I don't know what I'll say. I'll probably I'll have to.
You got time.
It'll definitely be something from the heart. Like, I mean, we've been out here, like we've been training. I mean, I've been talking with a whole bunch of other guys on the back end. We appreciate that, we understand like what the team has been, and we understand like what, like, it's kind of like like you're itching for something, like you're like itching for success, and we understand that, and we're putting in the work. I mean, we're gonna continue to put in the work. I mean, in the back end, we already know how passing is in the CFL, and we have the goal of being the number one secondary and the number one defense, and and towards the end of the year, I mean, I wasn't really there during the beginning of the season, but towards the end of the year, we started after practice, we'll watch our film, we'll get together, watch films with each other, understanding who we're working with. So it should be a lot of excitement. And I mean, obviously I'm very chill, and I'm not probably the most gassing up guy right now, but once we're in it and whatever, you'll sense it all.
I can tell you just from watching you at the combine.
Exactly.
I mean, all you'd have to do is grab the mic and be like, "Yes, sir," and we'd all be fired right up. That's all we need. That's all we need.
Yeah, I like being like on the field or even on the side, like on defense, like where it's like second down and everybody gets loud. I love it because I remember like back in the day playing like college football, like on the video games, and it's like pump up the crowd and stuff when it's like second down, third down. I like doing that. Like, it's like, oh, I'm in the video game. Like, it's like, yeah, like get loud. And then like when you're playing, you can like hear everybody screaming and stuff. And then once we get to stop, everybody's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm like, nothing beats it. Nothing beats it. Like, it's amazing.
I will never. I vividly remember Andrew and I just standing in the background at Combine, and we were so distracted by you and how you were reacting to the plays. We're just like, this guy is just like, so deep in it. Love it.
Yeah, like I love it. Like, I love football. I love because I've met all my friends that I've met growing up have all been through this game. There's a lot of connections you can make through this game. Like, you can have a lot of fun with this. Like, this game is such a blessing to I'm from Arizona. Like, I was born in Tennessee. I moved to Arizona. Like, I'm in Canada, like, to play. Like, I've been to Hawaii. I've been to Canada. I had a chance to go to Europe. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to be able to, like, this game has afforded me the luxury to be able to travel, you know what I'm saying? Like, even like just me being a player, because I mean, because you could be like, even in the front office or like working with the team you're traveling for, you know what I'm saying? So like this game affords a lot of opportunities with a lot of people. And like with that, I mean, I'm always going to pay it forward, pay respects to this stuff. So anybody that I could keep on bringing into and gravitate and I could help with so that they could get better and so that our game could keep on progressing and getting better. Shoot, that's all of what I'm about.
Love it.
So awesome. Super fan, I saw there was at least one more question in the chat that we'll throw it to Donovan before we let him be able to have a break, even though we're enjoying every moment.
Absolutely.
So, enjoying this too.
Oh, that's awesome. We got two here. So Leanne is asking, who is the biggest inspiration on and off the field?
I would say if we're talking like humans, I would say my mom. Like she's been a very consistent part of my life, being able to like coming from like I didn't always getting played in football, I didn't really get the most reps. I mean, obviously now I play professional, but like growing up, I was never really the guy with the biggest name and stuff like that. But she always consistently told me, like, you have to be your biggest fan. Like, if you're not supportive of yourself, who is supposed to be supportive of you? Like, and I mean, especially in a game like football, like you have to be confident. You have to show these things because like the people that are putting you out there, they have to be confident and like, oh, can we trust them in doing these things and stuff like that? And for me, I've never really been, like I was never a 3, 4, or 5-star recruit. I never been to the biggest schools, I never really did these things. So like me understanding that I don't have like the name and everything behind me. So it's always belief in myself when I step on the field, when it's like I remember when I first got to the Cowboys, Tavon Austin, he told me like when those cameras are on, always like you're on. When the cameras are on, you are on. So my mom just telling me that always be your biggest fan. Always be, you can always do better as a person. We're always doing better as that. But just you have to support yourself. But with that, you have to put in the work. Then you can't just how you can support yourself but not working. Like what I'm saying. Like you're leaving yourself short on one end. So I would say that, and then after that, I would say Jesus. Jesus. He inspires me a lot through. We go through trials and tribulations a whole bunch in life, and he's always been my rock. So yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. All right, one more. We've got from Chris Agar. He says, Donovan, is there a coach at any level that sticks out in your head as being an incredible positive influence?
I would say my coach Neil that I described earlier in high school, because he coming from like my high school, he went to the same high school like probably 15 years earlier, so he understood what I was going through. Him switching my position, him telling me like you like if like you could do it, like I like, because growing up I didn't know anybody that played like I had my mom's cousin, he played in the NFL for like 2 or 3 years, but other than that I didn't know anybody that played professional. I didn't, what I'm saying, other than him. So like he told me like, just keep on with the grind. Even my senior year when I didn't really play that much. He was telling me like, just stay on it, just keep on getting as many reps as possible. Just keep on at it, just keep on every day, just keep at it. So I would say him. And then when I first got to the NFL, coach Chris Richard, he was with Sherman and all of them. He emphasized more of like, okay, like you didn't come from the biggest schools, like you're 40, it was like a 4 or 5, so they're gonna talk about that. But he's like, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Like they're human beings just like you. Like I remember when we're going against like the Giants, they had Saquon Barkley. He was teaching us tackling technique. Like he was like, bro, he's like, a lot of guys want to tackle high and stuff. Guess what? You grab their legs, everybody's normal. Just grab their legs. And he's like, a lot of people want to do all this stuff. Grab, he's like, just boom, be strong, grab their legs, they're normal. And I'm like, honestly, fact, I'm like, you don't have to say anything else. Like, people want to say, oh, he's so amazing, whatever. Just grab one leg. You can't grab a leg. So just like, right, it just makes it so simple. So him him telling me like, oh, you didn't come from anywhere. You have a $2,000 signing bonus. You're going against guys that's making $20 million a year. But guess what? It doesn't matter at the end of the day. Like, so like, just play, just keep on playing, and him telling me that, that's how I could be confident when I come down here and I go against the receivers. It's like, okay, like I know I've gone against, the best in the NFL, the best in whatever, CFL, whatever. So I know like I'm always going to be confident. Like man. Like that's why, yeah, I'm always gonna be confident. That's why, like, when a guy makes a play or makes a crazy catch on me, that's why I get so annoyed. Like when we played Winnipeg last year, and Kenny made that catch on me, and my hand was like in between his hand, and he caught it with his legs all crunching up together. Bro, I'm like, all right, bro, like you got. I'm like, whatever. I'm like it's just like, come on, like, you know how it is.
He's a pretty good receiver. Oh.
Yeah, he is. I love Kenny. He's my guy, but yeah, I'm never gonna give the receivers the benefit of the doubt. Like, oh, I'll say, okay, he made a good catch, but no, I messed up some type of way. Yeah,
it's really what it comes down to. Well, yeah, Donovan, you've said on here that it's that you don't have a name for yourself yet, but I feel that's changing, because people love listening to your stories. They love your hype on the field. We're very excited to see you on the field. Tell everybody where can they follow you and kind of get to know Donovan even more.
You can follow me on Instagram, D from the Heights. I'll post a little bit, but I mean, if anybody wants to, ask me any questions, don't bother messaging me. I mean, if you have any questions about training or wanting to get faster or anything football wise or, history or anything, don't hesitate. I'm here in Edmonton wanting to build relationships with people. That's what life's about, just connecting with people, building, being able to give them a certain light in their life, make them happy. So, D from the Heights, DFROMHEIGHTS on Instagram. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Donovan, you've been an amazing guest. We will have you back on during the season to talk about some games, because I want to. Maybe one of these days we'll get one of those trash talk moments out of you. But still, we will still get a chance to be able to catch up and know how it's going. Thank you so much for taking the time with us. We really, really appreciate it. And I guess we will see you at training camp in just in mere weeks at this particular moment.
Right, 6 weeks is coming up. I'm so happy. I'm just working out, staying cautious. I'm excited. My teammates, we're just on the field today. So,
outstanding! It's getting there. It's getting there. So
we're grinding. We've been grinding in Commonwealth, and we're gonna keep on until training camp, until the season. So I'm excited. I appreciate you guys for having me on. Just even inviting me. Just to your platform, y'all been doing this for a while. Y'all built up something amazing. So thank you for having me, that I could be able to, that people could hear my voice and everything. I appreciate that a lot.
Well, we love having you, and like I said, we will have you back during the season. So
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Donovan. Have an amazing night, and yeah, we'll see you in about 6 weeks. We'll be in the stands. Make sure you come over and give us a good hype up. We'll all be ready to
I
go.
will.
All right, I love it.
Hey, I can't wait to see y'all in a few weeks, 6 weeks. Can't wait.
It's awesome. Thanks, Donovan. Have a wonderful night, man.
Yes, have a great night. Talk to y'all later.
You bet.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was
he's awesome.
Holy man, he's so much fun. I love when you meet somebody and you're like, okay, I think they'll be good for the show, and then you get them on and you're like, oh my, yeah, they were incredible.
You don't have to do any of the work at all.
No. Ask a question, he's doomed.
It's
heavy lifting's done.
That was easy. That's good. I like it when we haven't done this in a while, so it was good to have an easy one. That's good.
Well, yeah,
it's
like our preseason too, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
It really
Take
is.
off the rust.
It really is. Although I'm doing okay with keeping up on the.
You're doing great. Me, I'm just trying to figure out. I'm like, how do I do this again?
How do I show a comment? Yeah. Okay. Well, you did well. I think you brought it all.
I had
together.
to leave and come back.
Is that what it was?
Turn it off. Turn it back on again.
It was too emotional.
It's like you've done that before. Yeah.
It's like
it was emotional. When he's talking about his mom, I'm like, yeah. Also, side note, speaking of moms, Mama Melissa, we're thinking of you and all the stuff that you're going through, and we love you, and if there's anything we can help with, please let us know. But our thoughts out to
She's
Mama
an awesome
Melissa
woman.
for sure. Okay, so let's talk about something that is fun that happened today that involved one superfan, Mike, because he is bringing all of his stuff, and that is the 75th season announcement. Yesterday.
Okay, that's what I was like. What else happened today? Oh my goodness!
Is that yesterday already?
It was yesterday already.
It just feels like one really long day.
Trust me, I've got like the memory of a goldfish right now, and the last 48 hours is all I got.
That's right. Yeah. Well, you're following the Ted Lasso rule. That's good. Yeah. Memory of a goldfish isn't bad. So 75th announcement. Lots of great things. Let's start though with the logo, because I was really impressed about the way that they did the logo, the details that are in it. The skyline, you can see the lights for Commonwealth, the 14 flashes for the 14 cups. I love when they get
the
little
old
things
school
like
logo.
That. Now I knew that would be your favorite part.
I've heard from a ton of people, both there at Commonwealth yesterday and online, that are just so happy to see that old school, 65 to 95 logo.
Beautiful.
Oh, it's so nice. It's so nice. And
he got it right. Yeah. Like they've recreated it before and it was not quite right. This is the first time I've seen the right logo in about 15 years. So I got to talk to Daniel, who designed it. He's their graphic designer. And just super humble guy. He was just thrilled that people, didn't hate it. And he was really just taking all the love in, and you could see he was really happy with it. So,
that's fantastic.
I also like I don't know the shape, but it's like the badge.
Yeah, that shield.
Yeah.
Very reminiscent of the U of A. No?
Yeah. And
I can see that, yeah.
And the old school 60s logo and like the city of Edmonton shield.
Before my time, I'm thinking U of A because it's more recent.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you saying, Kayla?
I am also old, just not as old.
Okay, that's nice recovery, kind of.
Nice.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah.
Bullets and balls. I don't know.
There's the title of the podcast.
And apparently, as if that wasn't enough.
It's Tyler approved. Well, you know what? That means that it was amazing all on its own, because that's high praise.
Right? Absolutely.
That's high praise.
I mean, I can do a mean stick figure and that's about it. So, I mean, it doesn't matter what I say. Something.
Does that mean the stick figure is like got a grumpy face, or is it just? Oh, okay, excellent. Just checking. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Mike, tell us about all the other stuff that is going on with the 75th, because it's a big deal, and when it comes to history, this is your realm.
Yeah, I was absolutely thrilled to be able to be in the room. There was about 100 people there. I counted at least 20, 25 alumni that were there,
Wow.
plus some current players were there, and just everyone. Morley Scott was there, and he said he hasn't seen that many media at any kind of scrum for the Edmonton Elks in like years. Like
Yeah,
there was
I
just
bet.
people there. Tom Gazzola was there from Edmonton Sports Talk. That was great to see him. Avery, a scout from the Elks herd, was there. Lots and lots of people, lots of cameras, lots of people that had a lot of excitement. And just everyone was sort of, hanging on every word, whether it was Tom Richards or whether it was Mookie Mitchell or Rick Lawlisher, etc. It was just a real buzz going around the place, and everyone was just really happy to, football coming back and to see the great things that are becoming, because they've got a lot of great things planned.
Absolutely. So some of those things include obviously the logo, home opener ticket pack, $75, 2 adults, 2 drinks, and 2 hot dogs. Like that's a good deal.
It's a pretty good deal.
The kickoff dinner. Now, I need to find some funds to get to the kickoff dinner. Thursday, June the 6th, the biggest grouping of alumni yet at one of the dinners.
Ever. Yeah.
And then all of them and extras are going to be at an autograph session on June the 8th, right before the game. Now,
we don't have anything to do that time.
I was just going to say, yeah, well, we're, you know what? We're going to talk about the tailgate later because I'm still a little miffed.
Yeah,
but,
we'll get into that.
We will be at the tailgate during the autograph session. So that's why I need to get to the dinner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I hear you. I'm already putting money away in a sock.
Like, yeah.
What is the ticket price?
Just loonies swinging around your head. Anyway.
I missed you, superfan.
Yeah,
I don't know what the ticket price is, but I'm guessing that it's going to be a
$350, $375 if I had to guess.
Yeah, per seat.
It's not the $100 dinner anymore. If it was $100 in the 60s, inflation and all,
Correct. Yeah, exactly. So it's $1,000 for a seat. Okay,
well, no,
great.
but I think it was about $350, $400.
Yeah, that's what it's usually been in the last few years. Has been in that range. But no, I am excited about that.
Better be good food.
Yeah, well, who cares? Who's sitting at my table? That's the thing. There's going to be amazing alumni there, and somebody representing every year of the Grey Cup. They're saying like that they won.
Yeah, either them or family. Yeah,
which is crazy. Like that's going to be very, very cool. So now there's lots of 75th season merch already out. I am a big fan of the hoodie.
The hoodie is amazing. One of those may have come home with me today.
Oh, really?
Shocking.
But
oh man, I want
not. It wasn't for me, so that's okay.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm not allowed to buy anything for myself for the next couple of weeks. So
that's fair.
Yeah. So I'm like, but I can buy for other people. So I'm like, interesting. What do I do there?
And it happens to fit me too. Wow.
That's nice.
Oh well. How about that? Daryl has a little bit of an update there.
$500 a ticket or $4,000 for a 10-person table.
So $400 ticket if you get 10 people.
Wow. Can we get 10 people together and do a turf district table?
Or 12 people together and 2 people just don't show up? I'm just saying.
It's another way we could do
donations.
Whatever it works.
Yeah, we're open to donations. Like we'll start a GoFundMe to go to the dinner. That's the trick. What else they got? Oh, the in-game decal. They're doing that again, where you can have your name on the decal on the helmet, and at the end, then you will get your decal with all the names and signed by a player that was on the field. I think after today, we all want Olumba to sign that, which would be unbelievable. And I just wanted to put above it, yes, sir. Anyway, that'd be amazing.
There was some things that a lot of people didn't quite catch in the press conference. It was at the if you get to go to the video, it's about 14 and a half minutes into the 15-minute video.
Okay.
Evan teased that there might be a bit of a different look on the field in that first game.
I heard that.
All he's going to tease us with.
Yep.
Let's just say I think we're going to make a lot of people happy. They're going to sell a lot of stuff out of that team store.
That'll be the show up early before tailgate to go and get that wonderful new piece of that returns to the way it should be, right?
Oh, I didn't say that.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, Even still, I'll go look at it.
Oh no, you'll buy one.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Oh, okay. All right.
But
Kayla has no idea what
it's
we're
an all
talking
new
about.
look.
It's an all
So
new look. Okay.
It is an all new look, and as I've said to many people, it is probably the best jersey across the CFL that I've seen since the BC Lions gunmetal gray one. Like it's that, which
Really?
I thought was a pretty iconic look. This is as good or better.
Okay. And I know Tom Cazzola said he got a sneak peek and he was very excited about it. So
Yeah.
I'm
So did
sad
you
that
get
I
a sneak
couldn't be
peek?
there.
I have held it in my hands.
And I haven't. It's not. I couldn't go. I
Yeah,
couldn't
they were
go.
afraid you'd
Stupid
take
real
it.
work. That's so what?
They were afraid you'd keep it.
That's probably not wrong, but still, I just that's unfortunate. Tim Capper. I'm not an Elks fan, but I've already bought one, as you should.
Yeah,
That's right.
it is pretty slick.
Get on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Now,
think that you're represented well, so you need to do
That's
a
true.
little bit of
a little return
shit.
there. Yeah. Sagar saying, "Damn it, Mike! My credit card just filed for separation." Yeah, well, that's my credit card filed for separation a while ago. Still, I'll find a way for these new toys. I'm very excited. Now, the other part that they did announce, and Mike, you are directly involved in this, so I want you to talk about it. The creation of the EE all-time team.
Yeah, so it's a two-part thing. So there's a small committee, including myself, Brian Hall, Dave Jameson, and a few others, that are putting together an all-decade team for each of the decades. So we'll have an all 50s team, an all 60s team, an all 70s, etc. So there'll be 7 of those, and those will be after the kickoff game. So it'll be the second game against Montreal will be the 50s, the third game against Ottawa, I guess, would be the 60s, etc. They'll have those 7, and at the very end, they're going to have the fans pick the 75th anniversary team. So it's any player from any of the decades for that position. So who was the greatest quarterback at that, across the decades? Who was the greatest 4 receivers? Who were the greatest, etc. So that's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a wide variety of people entering their favorites at the positions, and it's going to be hard. We did a similar thing a few years ago.
Yes, we did.
Where we had to have the best, the best receivers, the best whatever. But this is a limited number now. It's literally a depth chart we're going to fill out with just the starters. Who is the greatest, halfback? Who is the greatest single fullback? Who is the greatest long snapper?
Well, that's got to be Ryan King, right? Thank you, Kobe, for saying Marco better be in there. I love Marco, but I don't think he makes that particular list. Only because, good Lord, as you just think of some of the names, like some of the
we did the 50s and 60s today, the committee. So we have done those.
Really?
Yeah, those are very, very tough ones.
I can only imagine.
Because you have to, there are certain rules we kind of go with. Like you can't have someone who was on the 50s team be on the 60s team. So that kind of eliminates a lot of things.
Okay.
And, you try to keep it so that it's one guy per, like if some guys on offense, you can't have them on defense or vice versa. So that does make it a little trickier, but it gets a lot more people on the list, right? So it's going to cause a lot of conversation. Not everyone's going to agree with our list, but that's fine. That's the whole point of it, right? So
that's the whole.
It was a lot of laughs. Anytime you're in a room with Brian Hall for an hour and a half, it was a whole lot of. Listen, let me tell you about Jack Parker.
Let me tell you.
A little more like that. Yeah,
that's I'm trying to learn from Morley and Dave.
Yeah, we had a little conversation, and I'll do a little bit of inside baseball on this one. So we talked about who some of the coaches were going to be for the 60s team. And there's only 2 coaches for Edmonton in the 60s. It was Eel Keys from 59 to 63, and then Neil Armstrong from 64 to 69. And
then
60s were terrible for
getting
us.
On the moon and all those
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Slightly different, but we were not very good in the 60s. Eagle had higher highs, but he also had lower lows. Like he went to the Grey Cup in 60, but he, we had a 2-14 season in 63. Neil Armstrong, went to the playoffs 3 or 4 times, but he didn't get past the semifinal. So, like I said, it was more consistent. So we had a decision, and Brian was talking about, the good points and the bad points. And he was talking about Neil and talking about how he was, a good man, but maybe wasn't right for the team. And so I said, well, a lot of people certainly they thought that Neil Armstrong wasn't the greatest coach, but there were people that would defend him to anyone and sing his praises. And then I turned my computer around and played a video of Brian Hall in 1970 talking about how great Neil Armstrong was. So
oh, that's amazing.
We had to walk that back a little bit, which was just kind of fun to, see Brian Hall in 1970.
Oh, that's well done, Super.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I couldn't have set it up better if I tried.
Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of old times, we should it's been so long. Should we delve back into the world of the Horde and Tell?
Let's.
Oh, well, here we go. It's time to go back to Horde and Tell, which is, I understand, still spelled wrong, but that's okay.
Oh, that one is spelled wrong. Yeah.
yeah. I didn't have but that's fine. Whatever. We get the deal.
The Mongol Horde.
The Mongol Horde. All right.
Yeah. So.
Okay, super fan. Let's give you the spotlight and tell us what you have for us this evening.
I've had a few things come in. I mean, it's been since January since I was last online. So I'll save that one for the end.
Okay.
A couple of things I got coming in. This was kind of fun. In the late 70s and the early 80s, the newspapers would print full page pictures of the players in color. Of course, the Edmonton Sun, a lot of stuff was in color, but the Journal wasn't. But they still managed to put out lovely things like this. This is a full pager. Let's see if I can get that. Oh, that's a huge one there.
Look at that.
There we go. Good old Jim Germany against BC there.
Wow.
There's 10 of these. They had a 13-week, and I've got David Boone.
Who, of course, the award is named after.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, Hank
Olesic. Let's flip through a little of these here. There's some of these guys you're going to remember. I'm sure a lot of people might remember.
Oh,
Mr.
Larry Highbaugh. Yes.
He did it right for himself.
He was all right. Yeah. Oh, Dr. Death.
Dave, Dr. Death Fennell. And number 42.
Oh, who is that guy?
Denny Ray.
Yeah, I think I heard of him.
Yeah, so I managed to grab a partial set of that. There's 13 and I've got 10. So I'm still looking for those last 3. And it took me this long to get these 10, so I don't know how long it's going to be. I think you have a picture as well. That
I
Kayla
do.
was asking about.
I can throw that picture up.
Yeah, throw that up there.
There it is.
So there is a lovely shot of a small airplane sitting at Commonwealth. Because we had 3 1,000-yard receivers. They refer to these as moons and as stars. So we had those 3 happen to each catch 1,000 yards in a single season, which tied the record at the time. Tommy Scott, Brian Kelly, Waddell Smith. I mean, Kelly was in his 3rd year. Waddell had been with us since 78. And Tommy Scott had been in the league since the sort of early mid-70s. It's pretty impressive, but sadly, that's early Photoshop kind of thing. This is the actual photo. This is taken at the municipal airport. They just cropped around the photo and pasted it over Commonwealth Stadium there, but
which is still really cool.
Still a great photo.
Yeah.
And then last thing I've got, this one I've been trying to track down for a long time. In the mid 50s, of course, we were in the Grey Cup a lot. And they printed a limited number of pictures of the team in 53, 54, 55, and then had the entire team sign the bottom of them. And I had 53 and 55 quite a while ago. And finally, I got this absolute beauty, the 1954 team. And you can see all those lovely signatures there.
Look at that. Yeah. Rolly Miles. Oh, man.
Jim Quandamateo, Bill Briggs, Roland Prather, Oscar Kruger.
Jeez, so many of the
Jack Parker, Eagle Keys,
Jack Parker. I think he did okay. Ted
Yeah.
Tully. Yeah, like wow, just amazing.
So yeah, that's getting framed up. The frame's okay, but it's a little beat, so I'll get it reframed and put up on the wall.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's been sitting there waiting for this, but soon it'll be up on the wall with the other one. So
oh, that's awesome, super fan. I'm so glad that that you were able to, get that one. I know you've been searching for, and I think and I think you've had it for a bit now because we keep trying to. You're like, I have one coming that we're going to show on.
Yeah, I got it like the day after the last one I was on in January.
Yeah, exactly.
And I did. The team asked me to bring some of my collection down to the stadium yesterday.
Yes.
So I displayed, team signed footballs going back to the 50s, jerseys from each decade, helmets from each decade, and then programs. Awesome. And it was just really cool to see people interacting with it. I had a Brian Kelly game worn jersey, and Brian was there with his grandkids. So awesome. They got to see Grandpa's jersey, and they posed with a picture of it, and they had a program with Brian's face on it and that kind of thing. And then I had one guy with an alumni jacket looking at the 54 ball, and he was sort of spinning it around and looking at the signatures. And finally he spotted one and he started smiling. And the guy's name was Jack Parker Jr. And he found his dad's signature. And it was just one of those things. So he had the camera out, he's taking it. He was with the team in 85 as a receiver. And just a pretty special moment. So it was great just to be able to stand back and look at people and seeing some of the things just lighting people up, because it's great in here, but a lot of people don't come down here. So
right.
Being able to see it in there. So there might be more opportunities to show it off this season.
It's so cool. And all I can think of is you're like, are you allowed to? Oh, wait. I know who you are. You can touch it.
Yeah. And I managed to be like, he mentioned he had a trading card made. And so I pulled that up and showed him the card, and he's just gleefully showing it to other people. And
that's for a moment there, all I could picture was you being like Cusco all of a sudden, like, no touchy.
Yeah. Exactly. Smacking people's hands.
Only looking, no touchy. Yeah.
Have like those latex gloves and stuff. Like put these on before you touch anything.
Don't wreck my stuff.
Yeah.
Leanne asking, did you take Thomas with you as security for your memorabilia? That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, kid has the great hairdo. Yeah.
It's true.
I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some roster moves.
Yes.
Because there was a few. Nothing enormous on the signings. Offensive lineman Jonathan Buskey, linebacker Nick Anderson, defensive back James Wiggins, defensive lineman Jeremiah Jackson Trottier, which is going to be a fun name to say, and returning defensive lineman Emeke Egbule. So
easy for you to say.
I know. Well, I'm so glad that when they sent it out, they had it phonetically. Helps me out. Thank you, Hernan. Extra point. I was glad to see him back, because I know he did make a bit of an impression at the end of the year last year. So, but again, these are guys that we're going to see in training camp and then decide, is that the next guy? Is that a guy that is going to outplay that contract? So biggest signings over the last little bit was, of course, the coaching staff being announced. Finally. I mean, like, man, how long did it take to just tell us who the coaches are? So I will list them off and then we can talk about them a little bit. So Chris Jones, of course, stays in as general manager and head coach. Jason Shivers coming over from the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I know we're all shocked, as assistant head coach, defensive coordinator, and linebackers coach. Nice. Jarius Jackson is back as the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Marcus Howell is back as the pass coordinator and receivers coach. Steven Sorrells returns as the run game coordinator and the offensive line coach. Now, there gets some new guys in here. Marcus Clune, that we talked about with Donovan as the DB's coach. Mike Shepard returns as the special teams coordinator. Nate O'Neill comes in as the defensive line coach. Albert Pori comes in as the running backs coach. Tacoby Cofield in as the assistant offensive lineman coach. And Aaron Craig is the strength and conditioning coach. So some new guys, some returning. Anything that stood out to you with this one? I'll start with you, Mike, and then go to you, Commish.
Well, I mean, it was a pretty poorly kept secret that Jason Shivers was coming back to the green and gold. Of course, he was here in 2014-15, the first time with Chris Jones. I really liked him. He was the DB coach back then. And since then, he sort of blossomed into that defensive coordinator role in Saskatchewan after Jones left there. I thought he was a great young mind. I mean, everyone's young to me in the coaching craft, but he just really seemed to get the most out of his players. And as Donovan said, just seeing Nick Marshall and all the things he was doing really got him excited. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can bring. I'm cautiously optimistic about the special teams. We ended the season really well. Mike Shepard was the special teams assistant because we didn't have a special teams coordinator then. So now that he's got full reins to design his own schemes and everything else on special teams, I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do. We finally got a touchdown for the first time in 9 years. So we're all kind of hoping that we see a little more of these. So,
that is the plan. Absolutely.
Yeah, let's see how it goes.
What about you, Commish? What did you think about that?
I thought I didn't know most of these names, so that's exciting. Yeah. I like some fresh blood. So I'm mostly curious because JJ and Trey seem to have a little chemistry, especially at the end of the year. I'm very curious to see how he and MBT are going to connect and how they're going to form a relationship and what differences MBT might bring to the team with Jarius Jackson, because he is so different from Trey Ford. So that, I think, is the thing that stands out most for me.
Yeah, that's fair. And I mean, they did have a relationship playing in Toronto before, but it's you don't know how that.
Oh, he did? With Jarius?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But Jarius has obviously evolved since then, and MBT's won stuff since then. So it's interesting to see how I agree. How will they play off one another? Yep. And how will they learn? I know the biggest thing for me was I guess I was kind of waiting to see a name that we knew. Like I was waiting for not of the guys that were already here. Obviously we know those names, but I was just kind of led to believe that there was going to be like a big name of some kind. And
coaching?
You see, and you see JC Sherritt go, signing in Saskatchewan. You see Calvin McCarty signing in Hamilton, and it's like
I see.
Be something in there that would be, and I get it. It has to be win now, and we don't know a lot of these guys to know what they specifically bring.
Right.
But I was hoping there would be just that little bit of fan connection in the midst of it all. I guess that was my, and I know that doesn't matter when it comes to coaching, but yeah.
I think it's hard with the cap on the football operations side. That does make it a lot tougher, because if it wasn't for that cap, I think you might see a lot more former players in as assistants or whatever, just to get their feet wet and see what they do bring, so that in year 2, okay, you know what, this guy can be a running backs coach, or he can be a special teams coordinator, or whatever it happens to be. The cap wasn't really meant to do that, but I think that's been one of the unexpected consequences of it.
Is there on the website, when they announced, as I've been so out of it from being off most social media platforms, do they have a rundown of the coaches of just like what they've done, kind of their resume?
Names.
Just names?
Well, there was an article that did break down where they came from and what they especially with the new guys. 100%. Yeah. And it's right on the Elks website when they have the announcement that has the sticker with all the names on it, and then below they do have a write-up, especially and a couple of a little paragraph on kind of each of the new guys.
Okay. So, I just saw the names, that's it. So I was just curious to I guess the hiring practices, like where
Right.
Jones found them, and is there association with them from prior years, stuff like that. I find that interesting.
A lot of guys with D2 experience, and so coming up to the CFL now. So they're all the guys have some coaching experience, which is good.
Right.
Right.
Of course.
And Clune was with Shivers in Saskatchewan. So there is some CFL experience, right? But yeah, there was not as not a lot of names specifically that we know, but they do have some experience from other spots.
Yeah. We have,
there. Leanne saying, I see McAdoo was sent down to the minors. Well, now, as far as I know, he is
he was released.
Was he released? I didn't see that. Oh, okay. Because I thought we're still paying him for one more year, I thought. But
we're still paying him, but he was released.
Oh, we're still paying him. Okay, great. Yeah. Excellent. Somebody want to release me and still pay me?
No kidding.
I'd be fine with that. Yeah.
Well, I have another job in the wait.
Yeah, if I have one. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right, let's get to our next thing, which is an ownership update. When we haven't recorded a show for a while, we've got a long one to talk about. So, by the way, get your t-shirts at Zazzle. Hey, there you go. Okay, there's a little plug. Just get that in there. So the ownership update was that the board or the committee is engaging with Park Lane to assist, who helped in the sale of the Montreal Alouettes.
Right.
The report from Three Down Nation was there was over a dozen non-disclosures signed so far. So does that mean that those are all offers? Not sure, but definitely people who are interested, or different parties that are interested. So,
well, that one group is probably half of those right there.
It might be, yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. I didn't know how many of them would be that, right? Because yeah, so Garrett Jones has really been making the rounds,
beating the drum. Yeah.
Yep, 100%. Kamish, how are you feeling about it, or what do you think with all the stuff going on?
I want to say I did see that one update, the non-update, because I saw it like on their Instagram. So I like went to go find their non-article of like, yeah, we were talking about it. And I'm like, really? This is like, then yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
I think that was funny. I mean, my opinion is I just want what's best for this team.
Right.
And I think, like a lot of people, the wary side of, more of the players purchasing the team as a group or whatever is the concern with the business aspect of it. I think the culture, the history, the passion is definitely there. But like everyone, I would be concerned with the business side, and I don't want to make any judgments or assessments until I see the full picture. Unfortunately, we're not privy to that. So, which kind of sucks, right? Because I can't base my opinion strictly on just unfortunate passion, because if I did, I'd be full on it. Like, yes, they love the team and they want what's best and they want to honor the history and the organization and the culture and the city and blah blah blah. But I also need this team to succeed for another couple of years, and those funds ain't sticking around. So on the business
survive.
Yes. Yeah. I'm for it if the business plan, the business model reflects a successful business organization. So that is my thoughts. I'm for it as long as it's what's best. I know that's a very generic
but that makes sense. Superfan, we haven't had you on in a long time. I know we talked about this the last time we ran a show, but what are you feeling about all this?
It's a commissioner said it really well that we need to know more about their sort of business side. I don't know much about the business acumen. Oddly enough, one of the people in that group is now a coach for a different team in Calvin McCarty. So I'm not sure how that would work. I assume he's either dropping out of the group or we would quit being a coach. The other thing I sort of look at is how deep is their pocketbook, because this team is probably going to be losing money again. And what happens if they all of a sudden have to pony up another $1 million, $2 million, $5 million? to cover all of the expenses that we don't really think about as fans, other than salaries and maybe the rent at Commonwealth. There's a lot more to it than that. So are they able to get that money when it's needed? Because it will be needed, certainly at the beginning, especially. Hopefully things can turn around and we can see these, because they talked about the rainy day fund and it is going to be there for a year, maybe 2 more. So you need someone that's got very deep pocketbooks. So even though this team could sell for, I can't remember how much the Alouettes sold for. It was very little. Yes, in terms of a sports franchise. Like, for me, it's a lot of money, but for a sports franchise, if it was $5 to $10 million, that's not a lot of money for a professional sports team. I don't know if that's any indication on how much Edmonton would sell for, but if it, let's say, just put a number of 10 million, you have to have that 10 million, and now you've got to have the operating line to go as well. And not a lot of banks going to be like, so you're a group of 10 people, or you're one person, or whoever it takes over. Can you afford to ride out those bumpy first few years? So that's what I sort of be concerned at. But I've talked about this a lot over the last few months, including with you guys. I would rather have a private team than no team. Correct. So if that's what it takes to get that team, working really well, maybe we'll get a Bob Young type, or maybe we'll get an Amar Doman type. But I think I said the last time when we talked about switching to private ownership, I'm less worried about the next owner. It's the owner after that I'm sort of worried about, because if you are an owner and you are either tired of losing money hand over fist, because CFL teams don't necessarily make a lot of money, or you can't afford to, then you're going to be looking to sell as soon as possible, and you might just sell to the first person that has the money. And if that's the case, that's the one I worry about. So
that's when you get a Federic issue, right? Like, we don't want that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Murray Pesum in BC. I mean, the Liebermans in Ottawa and in Shreveport, and all over.
Come on, New Orleans night. Don't you want that? Mardi Gras?
I really don't.
No, me either. Yeah, exactly.
Nobody wants me to flash them for beads.
Nope, me neither. I agree. I like the fact that Kayla's thinking about it for a second, but like, there's that moment of
what kind of beads? Wait,
I just heard like New Orleans Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
Yeah, that's it's a little thing. So I'm curious to know who the other parties are. I know we won't really be privy to it, but it would be the tight-lippedness is being great. Like, I haven't even heard a rumor of it might be this person or it might be this person. I'm sure you have, Mike, but all that I've heard is Garrick Jones and his group. So
but I mean, just like when we had Victor Cue come in as president, how many of us knew who that was at all prior to the announcement? I mean, we all learned about him and all the successes he'd had. But it could be the same thing. It could be some faceless to us owner of a company that we may or may not have heard of, but has got deep pockets and really passionate about the team. And if that's the one they decided is the best for the city of Edmonton and the Elks, then we're going to have to trust that they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they have to know who's going to be able to build Save On Stadium. I mean, like, that's what it's going to be, right? Like, it's got to be. No, nobody's on board for that.
No. Save On, no. We already know the actual answer is it's Turf District Stadium. Thank you very much.
Oh, you know what? I wish I had that money. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
If I won the 30 million then I'd have enough. I'd have enough to get it started, do the have the rainy day. Okay, sure, no problem. Yeah. I could find some investors. Let's make and it 100% would be called the Turf District Stadium, which would be unbelievable. Yeah.
I just genuinely hate some of these stadium names, like, just for the
best. Somehow I knew that, and that's probably why
I like Commonwealth Stadium. I like it. I understand, like, there are some aspects that aren't so great, but oh man, the name is great. I like how big our parking lot is for tailgate. I mean, it's no BMO place, but
I wish it was bigger, but I'll take what we got.
Yeah.
Now that is probably one of the best segues ever that you probably didn't mean. But oh yeah, Princess Auto. Yeah. Kayla's favorite. Tailgate news. So
Oh,
since we
even
last
heard
chatted,
that.
I know you did. I mean, you queued it up lovely. So since we last were all together,
Oh dear.
Superfan, we did talk about the change to the tailgate, the moving of the lot, the down to lot B, the north of Clark, and the little picnic area, the stuff going on. We talked about all those things, and I think I remember when we got the first email saying, okay, they're gonna we have exciting news about the tailgate, and I remember you and I talking, and you're like, they're hyping this up a lot. That makes me worried. And
for whom?
It's exciting. Yeah, for us, because we've been doing this for 6 years now. Because we missed 2020. Is it 6 years that we've done tailgating?
2017, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going into our 7th year of tailgating.
Yeah.
So they had the announcement, they had the meeting, we all got on board. We were like, okay, this sounds like this is going to be very cool. And
promises were made.
We're going to be able to get our football family together in the same spot.
Together. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're going to be able to be all together, which is going to make this even better. We're going to have this, we're picturing, we're going to have like a table that goes over 4 different spots. We're going to have, like, here's the food, here's the dessert, here's the, everybody come, and we're all going to be in the same spot. It's going to be great. We're going to, as soon as those papers are out that we can put our requests in, we're going to fire in those requests. We're all going to coordinate this so that we're asking for the same spots, that we can all be together, and this is going to be awesome. And then 3 weeks ago, we got our invoices for a tailgate. And the 2 people who are not in the spots that we all wanted to be are Mike and I. And we're in a separate inside row,
3 or 4 rows of cars
away from where the rest of our football family will be, and nowhere near where we asked for our lane. And then I understand our rule usually is don't read the comments, but then you go into the comments on Facebook and a whole bunch of people are complaining we're put in the row the farthest away from the stage, which is where we wanted to be. But we didn't request that at all. Like, I don't know how you could fire truck this up so bad. Like, I don't. And, I'm going to be very clear on this podcast. We usually do not come on here and get after the team. We don't. It's not usually our jam. But man, does this, like, it was massively deflating to get that. And our football family is all sending messages in our group saying, oh, I got my invoice. Where are you? And Mike's like, I'm way over here. And I'm like, and then they're sending pictures. We're all down here and you're over here. And then I look at mine and, oh, at least I got beside Mike, which, to be fair, was my first request. I need to be beside Mike.
We all need to be together, but Andrew and I need to be beside each other.
Right. Just, and the next message that was given in email was that there will be no more trades.
There will be no changes. These are your permanent spots.
These are your spots.
And internal trading and not tell them.
No, my worry about that is that part of what they're also going to be doing is patrolling the area. And if there are spots that are parked in that aren't being used for tailgate, then they're going to give warnings to whoever has that spot, and then they could be removed because they have a waiting list. I'm quite happy about that because we always tailgate. We want to be part of the tailgating, right? Like that's fine.
Yeah.
But if I trade with somebody and then that person decides, well, I'm upset or I'm going to just park and go be near the stage where they want to be, where all their friends are, which are not where they are, then I'm going to get in trouble and could be in trouble and not be able to go to the tailgate. So I like
it's basically saying you have to stay at your car to tailgate, and
your car has to be in your spot.
Your car has to be in your spot,
but you can leave that plate, like you can leave your car,
right?
But I mean, for us, it's a little difficult because we're going to be setting up tables, and we can't set up tables somewhere else in front of someone else's car, etc., and dragging equipment across the parking lot and everything else. So.
Right, and so it, really. Really quite disappointing after all. Like we were so excited about it. We're still tailgating. Like I admit when I saw it, my initial reaction was, okay, well, I guess that's it.
And the price went up for us.
Yeah. So we get to pay more to be not near any of the people that we want to be near. Outstanding. Like it's super, super frustrating. And I hope that when maybe they need to leave it this year for whatever reason, but I hope they look at it again and look at some of the people who have been doing this since basically the start of it.
Yeah.
I think we were second year we got in.
We were.
And there's a reason
we were the first full year.
Right? There's a reason that it kept growing. I'm not saying it was us, but I'm just saying that people got in their spaces and made their groups, and that's what made the tailgate better. And splitting them all and spreading them all over a spot does not make the tailgate better.
Yep.
What also sucks too is you get to know the people who were around you, like in the previous spots too. Like we were right across from the Elks herd, and we got to know them, and that was quite a joy. And then other people whom I never have met, but I ended up walking down, I think, the chili contest, and I met a whole bunch of people. How the crap am I going to find them now?
I mean, they could say that you'll meet a bunch of new people, which is I totally get.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
We specifically said we need to be together because especially when we were talking with Chad and Lisa, they were going to make their menus based on ours. And so let's say we're having tacos in a bag, they might have a vegetarian option or a fish option, like shrimp option, or fish tacos in a bag or something that works with that. So people that want that kind of thing but don't necessarily eat meat or don't want the beef or whatever would have an option. And now that's just really not going to work.
Well, and Janelle, who has been a massive part of our tailgate, and we're 2 car rows over. Like now, to me, that I don't know if that means that they park and then come over to our spot, or I don't
something
think
like that.
But I don't know if they're. I also know they're getting a table and they're getting their stuff together too, which is great. But part of the reason tailgate was so good is that we had this core of people that would meet in this spot, and then other people would come in to be part of the tailgate with this core of people that were always there. And not to say that, Mike and I can't hold our own, but but we're only part of the core.
Yeah.
Right.
So what's the price difference then? If you all wanted to be together, assumingly that's going to be the same price for that row. But if they're put in a different spot,
same price no matter what, the price goes up.
I thought there was different pricing.
There is, and if you were up against the berm, like up against the green spots, those were considered premium, and they were $100 more a year. Yeah. But in the spots that they're in and we're in, it's all the standard spots, so it's all the same.
And it just basically, compared to the price we paid last year, it almost doubles.
Well, that's why I'm thinking, like, once, after the first game, you go up to whoever is around you guys and say, like, hey, I'm in this spot. What would you think about, trading? Like, trading completely. Just
and
then just telling the office that we have done it. So
yeah, like, and you get the parking stall, like you just swap cards, and then that's that. I don't know if that's an option. But
I don't know. We're gonna have to look into it, but it's gonna have to depend on them. I mean, if they want to be closer to the band, maybe that's the way. Maybe they can start leapfrogging and then maybe doing another trade. And by the end of the year, maybe they'll be where they want to be. But yeah.
So are you far away from the band?
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Which
Not as far as we wanted to be.
Correct.
The other thing is we wanted to be close to that grass area because this would have been the row right by the closest to Clark.
Yes. Yep.
And part of the reason is because we bring our kids to the game, and that's a play area for the kids, and so they can run around in there, and we can watch our kids while we're tailgating. Now we are several rows over. We have no way of visually seeing our kids while they're away from us.
You can imagine how excited I am that Nathan could just be running off on a berm
100%.
somewhere where I can't see him.
Right.
No,
Same
I mean,
with Thomas
at like both of them, right? Like Riley, you have to come and stay.
They're
watch
responsible
all the kids.
but
yeah,
you've got a ton of people
kids.
around.
Yeah,
they are. Yeah. I mean, Riley was stoked that there was a whole bunch more spaces because that means he gets more food. Like he's
right.
I mean, he's no dummy. I mean, he knows how that works, but
he knows where his bread is buttered, literally.
Correct. Yeah, literally. Exactly. Yeah. Where's those Montreal smoked meat sandwiches so I could just eat a bun?
Yeah. With mustard.
Yeah. What kid?
Essential.
Boy, I love that kid, but oh my goodness, I don't get him sometimes. So yeah, I know that we will be there. I know that we are tailgating. Mike and I let me rephrase that. Mike has put the menu together that I think we've basically agreed on, and that should be coming out before too long.
Yeah.
And we do have some things planned for, special things for tailgate for this year that we were talking about before. I just know at this particular moment we're as we pay the invoice, it's a little bit like, it's like there's not as much joy because we're like, where's the rest of the core?
There's expectations set, and like, I guess if there's so many spots and they're the same price, but they can accommodate the requests that you put in, apart from obviously you guys together, what was the point of it, I guess?
Well, I agree. What was the point of putting the names in if you were just going to pick it otherwise? And the other part is then why are there people on the other side that are upset that they're not near the
or in the spots that we asked for?
Because they obviously didn't ask for those spots, so why are they in them and the people who asked for them aren't there? Like I don't get it.
Like
now I'm not in the office, so I have no idea, but it just seems like it was like, well, this one came in, we'll put them there. This one came in, we'll put them there. Like I don't think the care and attention that was kind of promised in the presentation is really being met.
Right. And then that's the thing is like you set yourself up for disaster when you not promise these things, but make an illusion of a promise.
Right.
And like dangle, the little worm in front of it. Yes, of course. But then you don't hold true to.
Here's the excitement. Okay, we're all excited. Oh, wait, it didn't go anyway like we planned. Oh,
yeah. Setting up for disappointment kind of thing. It's just, I can agree with that.
So, I mean, I could ramble on based just on the fact that the rest of my week hasn't been very good either, but I'm going to stop right there and say, I hope we can find a way to continue to make it fun and find to have our core either find us or we find them at some point to make it all the things that we've come to expect from our tailgate over the past few years. So
we'll find a loophole. There's always a way.
There's got to be a loophole.
Always a way.
Yeah, exactly.
My mission, my contribution to tailgate.
Now I'm excited. I don't know what you're going to do, but that's exciting and scary at the same time.
I know how to talk to people.
Yeah, that's I
bring liquor.
Here comes the whiskey. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, wildlife. That was good whiskey. Yeah. Have to bring more of that. All right. Well, that's enough griping. We have come to the end of an amazing show, and thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you again to Donovan Olumba for spending so much time with us, and and bringing his positive energy, which we could probably use some of at this moment.
Yeah. Call him back.
If we get there early enough, maybe while he walks in, we can get a yes sir as he
That's
goes.
right.
That's all we need. I know we're far away, but we'll still hear it. It's fine. But thank you to Donovan for coming to join us for that. Guys, where do they find you? Let's start with you, Commissioner Kayla. Not many places right now, I know, but still.
No. Once training camp starts, you can find me back on Twitter at Duchess Lombardi. It's been a wonderful break, and I have not missed it. So I'm looking forward to football again.
Excellent.
As we all are.
Oh, yes. Super fan.
You can find me at 56 Parkies, and we'll get the history and horde segment back up and running, and that's at the Edmonton Football History account at EDMHISTOREE.
Fantastic. And you can follow me at Free Policious, and of course the show at the Turf District, and that is on all of the different social channels. Of course, follow our good friends at Pay It Forward with Football, because they are continuing to spread kindness, and they have a fundraising bowling event coming up, which is, I believe, the third annual, if I'm not mistaken there. So always a fun time. So check that out and be part of that, because it's
the first weekend of May.
Amazing. First or second, I have to. You know what? I'll get the information for the next time we are.
It's around training camp, but I think it might be before.
Yeah,
I think it is before. Yeah, no, that's very true. Also, check out the shop, zazzle.ca/store/turf_district_shop. Look at that. I said it without even messing it up. That's the first time on the show. I tell you, the 10th anniversary is all about doing things proper at some point.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
A throwback would be messing up the name 1,000 times.
That's true. That's fair.
Still throwback.
That's still fair. Oh, that's actually going to be really funny when we get to that. We'll work on a throwback shirt, but we do have some items coming into the store here, likely in April and early May. So follow along there, grab your Turf District gear. This shirt is actually super comfy.
Nice.
I highly recommend it. And the Can't Catch Footballs with Your Face shirt is super comfy as well. So make sure you grab that. If you're on YouTube Live, stick around. We will do some overtime where we answer your questions from the chat. Otherwise, we will be back in 2 weeks. We will talk some more Elks moves. And I'm working on another guest that might be kind of reflective of our 75th season.
That needs beads, man. Some gold, green and gold beads.
Yeah, that's what we need.
No, I can't fit there. I'm safe, so that's good. Okay, so for Donovan Olumba, Commissioner Kayla, and Superfan Mike, I'm Andrew. Remember, you can't catch footballs with your face, and we will absolutely talk to you in 2 weeks, or probably in a couple of moments.
Are we off?
Well, I don't think we're muted. So. Oh, look at that. It came right back. Well, maybe I'll just do this.
Magic.
Hang on.
Don't go anywhere. It's overtime.
All right, now we're back for
Good
overtime.
job.
We're back in the room.
Okay,
Super
seriously,
fast.
it's our training camp too. Give us a break. Come on. I can't. I got the intro. I nailed the intro. Just
There we are.
just missed the
One piece at a time.
Well, I mean, come on now. Like that's at the end of the show. I didn't practice that one very well. So that's
Haven't ended a show in forever.
Oh my goodness.
We're keeping this one slim though, right? I just looked at the time.
For overtime? Yeah, we're gonna keep it. Well, but
We'll
we do
fly
have a
through
lot
these
of
bad boys.
We have a lot of comments, but I will let you go. And you know what? Hey, thank you everyone that has tuned in. That's probably the most viewers I've seen at one time on the show in a while. So thank you very much for tuning in and being part of our family as you listen to me whine and bitch and moan about tailgates. That's great. I'm glad that Donovan brought the positivity.
Someone had to.
Yeah, exactly. Super fan. Shoot away. What do you got in the
Shooting at the walls of heartache?
Bang bang.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
So
I think even Kamish got that one. I think
there we go.
Reference. amazing.
Can't go wrong with some Patty Smythe.
She did snicker. I don't know.
Yep.
Did you get
Chris
it?
Agar has an idea for retro shirts, maybe.
Oh, I like. Ooh, the old Empire name and the points tally chart. I actually, even if we just had one that said Empire points, that would be. Ooh, it's been a while since.
Oh my gosh.
Giving out Empire points since 2015. Oh, you know what? If Tyler's still watching, he's like, oh, he's got ideas rolling. It's going to be amazing. Oh, I love that idea, Chris. I love it so much. That is a callback. Welcome to the Turf District and points. Yeah,
there we go.
Love it.
Someone write that down.
What?
Leanne has a great motto for life. If you can't be an athlete, be an athletic supporter.
So
words we can live by.
So I have to be a jock? Wait, what?
Exactly.
I don't want to be athletic supporter. Okay. Leanne was the Empire points winner, 15 and 16.
Oh
my. Tyler Hill says interesting, which means some of them are coming. We're getting exciting. Oh, new shirt ideas are coming together. It's amazing. Yay! All right.
That was the athletic supporter bit was from Greece, apparently.
Yes, no, I knew it was from some movie. I couldn't remember which one, but I do think that it's funny.
Yes, exactly.
That should be the title of the podcast. Can't be an athlete, be an athletic supporter.
It's true. Blake is very excited to get to Edmonton this year and meet the rest of you. So that's going to be awesome. We always love when we get to meet people we've talked to online and actually get some face-to-face, bend elbows, have some delicious food and football talk.
I promise you, Blake, for all of my crabbing, tailgate was still going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. Did I mention the bending elbows part?
That's the important part. Yes.
I don't think that Blake knows how to have a bad time, given what I saw at Grey Cup. It was fantastic. So.
Right.
That's fair. Yeah, he does. He knows how to have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's good. That's right. And it's going to be infectious. It's going to spread around training camp. So it's going to be great.
Oh, I love it. Yes.
So Randy's got a question. How many wins are we expecting this season? And I'm going to maybe make a little bit of a caveat to that. How many wins would we accept this season? Like before people are calling for heads.
I think if we don't
were we not negative enough already?
No.
Ken says too early to tell how many wins. With all the changes, I'm hopeful, but at the same time, a little anxious. And Chris says he'd be happy with the 500 season, so 9 wins.
Oh,
I'm even less than that.
Okay, so what did you figure? What do you figure?
Or what I would be happy with?
Well, let's do both.
Let's do both. Yeah.
What do you expect and what would you accept?
Oh boy. I honestly don't know. What I hope for this year was 1 win more than last year, because that was my deal. As long as we were progressing, but we didn't do that.
we did
not do that this year.
No.
So I don't. No,
we're with you, win or tie.
Yeah.
Is that
no.
Oh,
no.
Okay. I'm just checking.
Always a win. Jeez.
Okay. Yeah.
I would be okay with 7. I wouldn't be happy with it, but I would accept it because that goes with what I have said. At least one, we're winning more than we did the previous year.
Right.
But since we got the same as last year, or in 2023 was the same as 2022 in the win column, I'm not accepting 6. It's got to be 7.
Okay.
Expecting now, you better freaking make the playoffs.
Okay. Chris saying if it's not 500, I'm unhappy. Okay. So that's, and Kobe, playoffs, baby. Wow.
Playoffs.
Kobe, I thought you knew football. Look,
it just means that we have other teams that suck more than us. That's all.
We got we have a Valentine impersonator on the show.
Yeah.
That's amazing. All right, Mike, I'm gonna let you roll with this one first. What do you expect and what do you accept? Is that what we're saying?
That's the tricky part. Oh yeah, don't worry, Cliffy, that's coming. I don't think of it as an overall score, because if we went 9-9, but we lost the first 9 and won the last 9,
Yeah.
that doesn't do it for me. Like, I want to see a competitive team every game. If we're losing, I don't want it to be a blowout. We were shut out twice by the BC Lions, the first time that's ever happened to us in the same season, being shut out by the same team twice. The first home shutout in forever.
Yeah.
We need to be competitive. So it's less about the win and loss column and more about how we're doing. 2013, we only won 4 games, but we lost 6 or 7 of those with like 4 or 5 or less.
Right.
And then the next year we were, at that point 12-6, and then 14-4 in 2015 with the Grey Cup win. So that's what I want to see. I want to see the losses being close. If we're going to lose, more wins than we had, I would be happy with at least 9 wins. I would accept. That's a tough one. I don't like accepting losses, right?
No, I know that's the thing.
But if we, again, if we have, let's say in the first 9 games, we have to have minimum 3 wins, preferably 5 in those first 9.
Yeah.
Because if we can be over 500 in the first 9, that's all right. But
well, if you thought I was negative about tailgating, you might want to turn off the program now, because you know what? I will happily eat these words, but I would be elated with 8 wins, because my expectation is 4.
We're consistent.
We have not improved on either line, and that's where games are won and lost. And
different coaching philosophy that may change things. And we've talked about this a lot in group chats and everything else. Is who is getting injured in the league?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Like, well, I can tell you one that I'm most worried about at this particular moment. He goes by 3 letters and sounds like a law firm. That's the one that I'm worried about. So it's I don't know. We in the 3 down chat, we had to do like a ranking. And I understand it is way too early rankings and all those other things. I 100% get that. But we had to do that after free agency. And I after looking at all of the different teams and where they're at this moment, I could not rank us higher than 9th. And that's saying something, like, because I'm usually the eternal optimist, but I'm struggling. So I'm hoping at training camp my views will all feel different, and
I think that will change a lot of things.
I'll see different things and go, oh, okay, maybe I'm overplaying it, but yeah, that's where I'm sitting right now. And everybody's like, why the hell do we listen to this show with this guy who's just a negative crab all the time?
Negative Nelly,
right? Yeah, I know, Debbie Downer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, it's that's where I feel like it's gonna. I want it to be better, 100%, and I'm more than happy to come back on here and say, "Oh, I was so wrong." Like, I'm fine with that. Leanne says, "Mojo and Venus hear my chippiness, and they send licks and wags, which is amazing."
I really hope those are dogs.
They are dogs. Yeah,
they're
good. Both dogs. And they are
not like neighbors or something,
So damn cute. I went out to visit Leanne and James on my way out to Lloyd, and I got to meet Venus and Mojo, and oh my god, they're so cute, and they're just like balls of energy. Like, oh my goodness, Mojo just batshit crazy, but so funny, and he makes me laugh. And so thank you. I appreciate the licks and wags. Yes, from the dogs. I'll be very clear about that. Yes. All right.
What else we got here?
Okay.
It's Chris Agar saying that 75th anniversary crest did not disappoint. That old school double E. Yeah, absolutely.
Right? It is. That old school double E is awesome. And that's why I want the hoodie, because you can see it the biggest.
Oh, yeah. It looks, that's one of the things I brought home. So
So nice. Did I see too? Did they have a hat with the old logo
No.
on it? Oh, I
There's
thought
no
I saw
hat
that.
yet.
From
The hats are on the way, is what Christine told me from the team store.
Okay. Because if they have a hat with that old logo, like, oh,
I love the glasses. Those are really nice.
Yeah.
oh,
For the beer
like
mugs.
the beer mug glasses.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
are really good. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yeah. Tim saying, just saw the merch online. So nice. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
it is. Wait, were you talking about the 75th
Ours?
anniversary or ours? Just to make sure, because ours is pretty nice too.
This is all about the 75th, but yeah, we.
Oh, okay. Blake saying he's gonna have to check out the merch. You should. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
It's very nice. Yeah. All right, Mike, this one's for you.
Yeah, Leanne's just asking how awesome was the energy there. It really was very exciting kind of thing. A lot of people, a lot of the alumni, of course, hadn't sort of seen each other, but something I never really considered is that for a lot of the alumni, this is the first time they've been in the locker room where the press conference was in years, if not decades. Ed Jones was just thrilled to be in that locker room because he was in the locker room the very first time the team played in 1978 in that locker room. So, he'd been there a long time and it's been a while since he'd been there in a lot of them. So it was very cool to sort of sit back and watch a lot of the alumni sort of going around and checking things out and pulling things down. And it's like, oh, these are way better than we had back then.
You're like, yeah, I have what you had back then in my house.
Yeah, exactly.
The locker.
And then again, just being able to interact with them. I talked with Brian Hall quite a bit, or I should say he talked to me quite a bit. Brian turns 90 this year. I wish I had his energy levels. He is just bouncing around. And for someone that sort of got a reputation for being very negative, criticizing people, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you're an idiot, hanging up on people. Nothing but positive energy, both yesterday and today. Just a lot of fun to be around, and was telling stories. It's like, stop me if you heard this one. I'm like, nope, not going to stop you at all. Don't care if I've heard it. I'll hear it again. Love hearing the stories. So
was he? Did he just all of a sudden break out in the Elks fight song? Because that'd be cool.
Oh my gosh,
that would have been awesome. I will sort of say that I did mention for the 60s group that maybe one of the tackles might be a good one for that spot. And I brought up anyone that's been around this team for more than 30 years will understand when I recommended Earl Edwards as tackle. Halsey just sort of rolled his eyes, and everyone realized that for many, many years, everyone calling into his show, somebody on that game was going to say, whatever happened to Earl Edwards, who was a tackle in the late 60s that ended up getting traded to the 49ers, oddly enough. So that'll make Cliffy happy anyway.
That will.
Yeah. And so even after we had to answer it, somebody the next week would be, whatever happened to Earl Edwards? So.
Answer it every time. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm still hoping he makes that team. So we'll see.
Halsey just vetoes that one.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nope, not allowed.
No more positive Halsey now.
That's right. Yeah.
Leanne asking about the buyer groups. How much would it cost per year to successfully run the team? Like if I could manifest a multi-million-dollar lottery win, you're gonna need a few of them, I think.
Probably. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, they talked about in the last 4 years, the team lost $26 million. So that means they spent far more than that because they were still getting in, merchandise and concessions and the TSN money and the gate receipts and everything else, advertising dollars. So you add all of that up and still lose $26 million in 4 years.
Yikes.
Yeah. Yep. You get a generally sort of understanding of how much that's costing. So, as that is, that's, how good's everyone's math? What is that, $6.5 million a year, 4 years?
Yeah. So. Somewhere in there. So, and then you got to buy the team. So that's like, it's there. Yeah. There's a lot of money.
Yeah.
To rotate around for sure. And you listen to guys like Garrick, and he talks about different ways to generate revenue, whether it's NFTs or he did say I thought I heard in the one that
I prefer my tokens fungible, thank you.
Yes, I know. Yes. And the you're welcome. but fan experiences and those types of things, I
like all the
support,
ideas for
right?
sure.
Yeah, I like find different ideas on ways to have different revenue streams. I like that. So the trick is are they going to generate enough revenue for the amount that's more than what you had take to plan it? And that's the part that I don't know enough about them to even know.
Right.
So yeah.
I am wondering and would be very curious to know that if it was a group of players, whatever the entire group was that was wanting to buy it, if that would entice old season seat holders that have now exited from the program because of the name change or whatever the situation with the Elks have been in the past, if that would motivate them now to come back. I'd be very curious to know what a poll would be like for that.
It might, yeah. Oh, hot tip from Leanne. If you sign their petition and they are successful, you get your name on a wall of honor. Interesting. I mean, interesting ideas, right? To try and bring people in. But again, I go back and forth on that petition too. Because I'm like, well, you should be able to sell it on the meat of the offer.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
apparently straight from the horse's mouth, says Leanne.
Oh, all right then. Well,
I don't know if a horse can own the team, but cool.
No. That's for rivals in the
Just
South.
gonna say. Even the East.
That's not okay. Yeah. All right, what else we got going on in there? Oh, May 4th is the Pay It Forward with Football fundraiser. Fantastic. So
that's right, May the 4th.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Riley.
Be with you.
That's a
Does he like bowling?
I don't know. I'm gonna ask him. Yeah.
There you go. You know,
How do you
a
feel
great
about bowling?
birthday idea.
Right? Especially for a 17-year-old.
How do you feel about not sitting in front of a computer all day? Huh?
I feel like it'll be easy for me to just go by myself.
Yeah, there you go.
Nathan.
That's the best birthday gift of all.
That's it. He'd be quite excited. Get
right?
out,
That's what I'm just saying.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm so
Your
glad.
absence is the best gift I could ask for. Said every 17-year-old ever.
Pretty much. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so Tim saying you got the shop URL for sure. A hell of a lot better than my intro 2 weeks ago.
Again, it's preseason for us all.
That's right. Yeah. I believe that's what you said right after you messed it. Yeah. Yeah. He just skipped all of the plugs and went straight into this is what we're gonna talk about. And then Cliff's like, are we gonna are we gonna talk about all the stuff we normally do? Yeah, it was pretty funny. Yeah.
It's just keeping the mystery alive.
That's right. Yeah, you never know they got to change it up. You don't want it to be the same all the time.
Exactly.
Correct.
All right, this is we're going to kind of go back a little bit to a minute or so ago.
Okay.
This is about the tailgate spot.
Tailgating. Okay. Oh, you just want to fire me up again. Okay. Letter or no letter, have you tried calling the team to see if something can be changed based on your reasons?
I emailed the team
first.
and I got a response from the person who's in charge.
Yes.
And she said, unfortunately, we can't make any changes.
Right.
Because
so I don't feel like Mike got that response. So me emailing is going to have the same.
What if you got 500 people to do it?
There's not 200 spots, so we never know.
Yeah. I don't, and that's the thing. I don't know. I haven't had the chance to reach out to, some of our other regulars that we know, the Cordys, even Semchucks. Like, I don't know that they're that upset with where they are, to be terribly honest. Like, probably
they're a destination kind of spot, right? So
right. Yeah. So I think some places got what they asked for, right?
Or don't care.
Correct. Yeah. Don't care. Just put me in the middle of somewhere. Right. But I do think that, and yeah, I agree with what Cliff is saying. Between this and the upper deck kerfuffle, it's definitely not a good look from an administrative perspective. And
I think they handled the tickets fairly well.
I think so too.
From what I've heard, and especially when we talked to Josh Semchuk same kind of thing. Like he seemed very happy with how it went.
Yeah, with his and the customer service that he got around it. Right. Now,
there's some people who are not going to be happy no matter what. They're like, I've sat up here for many years. I haven't had to pay much money. Now I've got to sit somewhere else and I got to pay more money.
Well, exactly. Well, not even somewhere else, somewhere worse, without the ideal spots in which they had for more money.
Yeah. Right.
That
but ultimately, this team is losing $26 million in 4 years. So they need to make some sort of money.
Yeah.
So if ticket prices
they just lost seats. They just lost seats.
Yeah, but hopefully they're. I mean, I was there the last 2 days, and there are people that are new people buying seats. So maybe
I'll believe it when I see it. I'll just say that.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. And again, it's there's a lot of banking on atmosphere and winning. That will help bring people back.
But it also it looked terrible on TV when you watch it because we were always there. But I'd go back and watch it and you'd see these sparse sections. It looked horrible, especially on the east side because there were so many more people on the west side.
Yeah, because it's bloody hot and sunny over there.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. I don't like being bacon. That's why.
West is best.
Correct. So Tim, like I said, going back to it, I don't know if there's I don't know that a letter is going to change anything at this particular moment. So we'll see. We'll find out where.
No, unless you try.
I will. We will put out a picture on the next show because I'm pretty sure we've got one around that will show kind of where we are, and then people will know where to find us. And currently, and we will. We're gonna make sure that we have some things around the tailgate so you'll know where we are. We have a couple of ideas for that.
It'll be me with a marching band directing you.
Correct. Yes, exactly.
76 trombones. Yeah.
Yippee! All right. What else we got?
In my little hat.
Oh, well, Blake has an idea to float by me. Well,
don't know what it's about. I guess you'll find
either.
Out.
Text me whenever, Blake. I'm happy for you to text me.
Some positive thoughts here.
Yes. Okay. Chris says, I've taken up a hobby of doing CFL team themed necklaces. Let me know if you'd like some. Ooh, cool.
There's some pictures. We'll add.
Yes. Chris, throw some pictures our way so that we can help promote these.
Exactly. Chris, Etsy Agar. It'll be great. Hey, don't mock Etsy. Etsy's awesome.
Etsy? Can we call him Etsy?
Etsy is awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. And the last little bit.
Excellent. I was hoping this would come up, although I thought we would talk about it more on the next show as we got closer to the draft. Cliffy asking, no combine thoughts from you all. Does Jonesy resist the urge to trade the number 1 pick and take Joel Dublanko? With Chris saying, I think Dublanko would fit well with a Chris Jones team.
Swiss Army knife, local boy?
Yes. It's Chris Jones. I don't know. So let's start with the first part. Did either of you watch any of the combine that was streaming?
No,
I totally forgot about it.
Okay. I did watch the Sunday full practice. And I always want to commend Marshall Ferguson, Dwayne Ford for the commentary. They did a great job. It's funny when Willie Jefferson was talking and talking to some of the coaches and players, but I really liked they had some of the coaches running the drills mic'd. And I thought that part was a really cool addition because you could see how they were doing the training. And so
cool.
Last year when we were at the combine, that was one of the things that I actually really enjoyed was listening to the coaching that the guys were getting. And so having them mic'd up this year was pretty cool. I did like that. I don't know, the full practice, you got a good look at a couple of guys. And I will say that there are some receivers that really stood out that I'm like, wow, they're, catching over guys' heads and that type of thing. So I thought there was some receivers that were good. Dublanko didn't really take it take part in the last days. I don't know if he just got injured or what happened, but he really wasn't out there, but he tested obviously very well. And like you said, Mike, known as a bit of a Swiss Army knife. So I don't know. I think we have, Mike, you were saying this the other day, we have 9 picks in the top 31 or six in the top 31. 6 in the top 31.
Yeah.
So we're bound to get a couple of gems out of there.
Yeah.
So, but I think if he doesn't get a really good, offer, that I think he'll stand pat and take DeBlanco. The only thing is, when is our second pick? Is my next question.
I don't recall. I put it all in a spreadsheet somewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up, and this is why I wanted to have that information beforehand, because I think they may look at one of these receivers, because now that you've got Curly Gittins Jr. coming in as a main receiver, and you've got Gavin Cobb, some of these guys have that same kind of frame as Curly, right. And so they may be looking at, okay, can we continue that position down the road?
Right.
So I think that I wouldn't be surprised to see a receiver's name called at some point. First overall, I don't think quite there, but if we have one still higher in that range, Shabazz saying a 10th pick is the next one.
Yeah.
I think we might see a receiver possibly called there, or one of the many talented offensive linemen, but I think it'll.
You can never go wrong with getting as many quality offensive linemen. Let's be honest.
I was going to say, was there any that stood out?
Not again. Like watching the practice, it was really hard to pick out offensive, because they're following the ball just like they would on a play. So you kind of see the blocking, but not as much. And because I hadn't been watching it all weekend, I didn't have like numbers or names that I knew to watch for. So that made it a little bit harder. But I know that Hodge put out a really good piece on guys that have like increased their stock from the combine. So I do recommend that read on 3 Down. One of them being Clericus, I think is his name, and he's a receiver, and yeah, he totally stood out. So I think those are good. It's unfortunate we don't have the territorial pick anymore. They got rid of those, and now it's if you've played the most Canadian snaps, that you get those extra picks. Right. So you finish dead last and get no benefit as far as drafting, other than drafting first. Right. So Shabazz saying we also have 18, 21, 30, and 31 in the first 4 rounds. So that's 1, 10, 18, 21, 30, 31. So that's 6 in the first. Yeah. Yep. So we should have, I think with the depth, or at least what I'm hearing of the depth of this offensive lineman, you might even be able to pick up a good O lineman at 18 or 21. So because there's going to be a lot of them. And I think a lot of these receivers and a couple of DBs really kind of, defensive line guys increased their value right from the combine. So it'd be interesting. I don't know if he trades it or not, but
right.
I think this year I'd be a little bit surprised. It'd have to be a pretty good deal. So for those of us that watched, not much, but I got a little bit of info there.
Right. Man, I was gone all weekend. Would have been nice though, but.
Yeah, I know I saw Leanne asking here too if we got out to the clinic thingamadinger that Odell put on last weekend. We had him on the show to talk about the high school fantasy showcase, and then I couldn't make it out due to some other stuff coming up. So I was sad that I missed it, but I'll have to follow up with Odell to see how that all went. Odell. Yeah.
Was the time ever announced? Because I kept checking the website, but it never gave a time.
I had the date,
but
then it wouldn't have mattered what time it was, because there was, I had other stuff going on.
I had commitments from like 11:30 to 4, but if it was a like late afternoon evening thing, then
okay.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter now.
Yep. Yeah. When I would have messaged Odell and said, what time is it? But I knew that it wouldn't matter because I couldn't go that day. So down to, one car and trying to figure this out to not make it any easier. So yes. All right. Anything else in there, super fan? That's it. Well, this was a banger of a show. 2.5 hours. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm tired.
It has been too long since we've all chatted, though.
Yeah.
Thank you both for being here, and I really hope that. Cliffy saying, hope you check out this week's episode of the Elks Flight Deck. We've lined up a former Edmonton legend as a guest.
Did he also play for the Alouettes?
I'm gonna go with yes. Question mark. Ray's voice. Yeah. Yeah, probably. All right. Well, thank you both. Thank you everyone for joining us for tonight. So much fun to have everybody back. And thank you, Blake. I am going straight to bed after this. But and thank you again to Donovan. He was an amazing guest. I'm excited to have him back during the season where he can tell us a little bit about how he's trash talking other players and getting everybody hyped in the stands. It's going to be amazing. So Superfan, where does everybody find you again?
You can find me at 56 Sparkies and the History and Horde segments at EDMHISTOREE.
All right, and Commissioner
At Duchess Lombardi on Twitter.
as soon as training camp begins. Yes. All right. So it is soon. For Commissioner Kayla and Superfan Mike, I'm Andrew. Remember, you can't get footballs with your face, and we will absolutely talk to you in 2 weeks.